Let this be a lesson to all of you. Always, and I mean always, go with your first gut instinct. Now, many of you have already learned that lesson over the years. That was me in the 7 a.m. hour on Friday talking about Mystic Dan, who Sam Pittman was accompanied by his wife Jamie in attendance, and because he knew one of the owners, the co-owners of Mystic Dan. Unfortunately, by the 8 o'clock hour, even though I was steadfast on Mystic Dan from basically Thursday on, I decided to change my pick to Honor Marie, who I don't know, finished dead last, but near the back of the pack. Mystic Dan, the Arkansas connected horse, ends up winning the Kentucky Derby. So whether it's horses, whether it's women, whether it's restaurants, whatever pops in your mind first, do not change it. Most of you know that already. I learned the hard way on Saturday night, unfortunately.
I don't know if your gut instinct's always the right one first, but we can talk about it.
It always is the right one first. The first thing that pops into your mind is always the right one first.
I don't know. Hot Take Mondays brought to you by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Great brands like Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley Model Zs. In fact, the Brinkley Model Zs will be coming with wheels to Fort Smith in months ahead. They are going to have a new dealership south of the tunnel. We'll be telling you more about that later on. It's the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels, and every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty when you buy from Wheels. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It's a photo finish, 150th anniversary. First time that it was on television was in 1952. So you had a couple anniversaries this past Saturday, and it ended in stunning fashion, where, again, the Arkansas connected horse ends up taking the Kentucky Derby. So you didn't win a baseball this weekend, but you took their baseball coach, you won their track, and now it's time to come for their bourbon. I guess that's the next thing on the list.
Already did that.
Did you this weekend? What did you partake in this weekend?
Hang on here. I'll show you a photo. Not that that's going to help the radio audience, but yeah, we had a pretty good weekend when it comes to that. But their bourbon's pretty good up there. But that was an exciting race. I mean, whether you pick the right horse or not doesn't matter. What does matter? There you go.
You want to show the?
I mean, that ain't going to do. I'm showing you, so I don't think they can see that. So, there you go. Opposite. Will that work for you?
Yeah, I've seen it already.
That's about 20 bottles. So we didn't get into all of them. Blanton's, Eagle Rare.
Look at you.
Weller's.
Big dog over there with all that liquor.
The Russell 10-year was really good. Really good. So, anyway, I was with some guys this weekend. We fished, golfed, and watched the Derby. So
the only horse race
we went for all their bourbon, and we watched baseball.
We went
for all their bourbon in Kentucky.
That's probably the only horse race I'll watch all year. Maybe I'll watch if Mystic Dan is going. Is it with the Preakness in May?
So why would you trust your gut feeling if you watch one horse race a year?
Because I just have.
What you did is you guessed right on Friday, and then you didn't follow your guess. It wasn't a gut feeling.
I blame Chuck 100% because I was 100% on Mystic Dan, and then he convinced me on Honor Marie.
Oh,
so
good Lord!
He's going to get ripped starting at 6:30 this morning. I would have won $3,000.
You wouldn't either. You wouldn't have bet that big.
$3,000, 150.
How would you have won $3,000?
Bet 150 to win.
You would not have done that. I know you.
150 done. That would have happened.
You would not have done
that. Instead, I'm down money because
he does not have the guts to put $150 in nose candy on any horse.
What is nose candy?
Yeah.
I just know you.
$150 on the nose. You weren't going to bet $150.
Nose candy is usually referred to something else. I'm confused where you're going with that.
Well, then clearly you're showing your lack of knowledge when it comes to horse racing. I don't have a lot, but I know that term.
Never heard nose candy used
because you don't go to horse races. You don't follow horse racing.
I don't identify.
You don't know a lot of terms.
I don't identify as someone that does that. All I know is I lost money, and if I would have bet that
you weren't going to 150 on the nose,
Mystic Dan, then I would have won $3,000. But instead, I was convinced by someone who I do actually respect on the horse racing side of things, and convinced me to switch my allegiances to another Arkansas horse, which I was found out on Friday. I just unfortunately bet on the wrong horse, as many of that is. There's another term. You bet on the wrong horse. That is a term that many of us have used over the years, unfortunately. But congratulations to, again, Mystic Dan with the Arkansas connection, the Gasaway family, also the Hamby family. We saw Sam and Jamie Pittman, and evidently the trainer too was born in Fort Chaffee, which I thought was he grew up in Lexington, but their trainer.
Kenny McPeak?
Yep.
Yeah, he bought a house in Hot Springs. He calls Hot Springs home.
A lot of Arkansas connections with
Arkansas
Mystic Dan.
horse. I mean, you got an owner from Gould that played football at UAM. Now, I would not have guessed wide receiver based on looking at him, but he was apparently a all AIC wide receiver in 84 and 85. And, congratulations.
Boll Weevils.
Yeah.
The most popular.
You ever been to
mascot.
Monticello?
Hmm?
Yeah.
I've got
go to Ray's. You get down there, you go to Ray's for a burger, onion rings.
That's my hometown, around that area, 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
Where
else do you go besides Ray's when you go to
Oh, man, there's a good Mexican restaurant, but that's about it as far as.
I think Ray's is the only place I've ever eaten in Monticello, or the Dairy Queen, one or the other. So.
Monticello is a town that I've been to, I think, twice in my entire life. I just know the UAM is the Boll Weevils, which is, again, one of the cooler mascots. You got the Razorbacks and the Boll Weevils.
What is a Boll Weevil, Ty?
I would be hard pressed.
Well, you said it was a cool mascot. I just
wondering. Think it looks like a bug, but it's not a bug. What is a Boll Weevil?
I think it has something to do with cotton. I'm not exactly sure. It has something to do with the, isn't it the, not insect or pest or whatever that could destroy cotton? I think that's the Boll Weevil.
That is correct.
Derek says he's with me. He thought you were about to start talking about drugs when you said nose candy. Texting on the McLarty Daniel hotline.
Your lack of knowledge isn't my issue. So
I don't know many. Maybe Chuck and maybe some others should educate me on that, but I have never heard that term used.
When you put money on a horse to win, that's called putting money on the nose.
But I've never heard it used as nose candy. I've heard that term, but I've never heard that. And he did technically win by a nose. That was about as tight. Right. It was about as tight as a race in, I think, the last few years.
It was tighter for place and show than it was for the win when you looked at the photo.
And then the NASCAR ending was pretty spectacular from over the weekend. Like
I couldn't see a difference hardly.
0.1 seconds. So there were a couple spectacular endings to a couple of sporting events this weekend that we've got a chance to get into here on Hot Take Monday.
All right, we're brought to you by The Fence Man. If you're looking for a company that you can trust when it comes not just to building you a fence, but maybe even a place to work, The Fence Man can do that for you. They are a great place that builds top quality fence, and they're needing help. They have really grown to the point that all they can do is add more crews. So if you've got fence building experience, welding experience, you're looking for a great company that's the leader in their industry, The Fence Man is the place. Apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. That's 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer. Mississippi State in the final regular season series coming up this weekend at Baum Walker Stadium. We'll have the games for you right here on most of these ESPN Arkansas stations. If you're looking for tickets for this weekend, make sure you go to the official resale marketplace for Arkansas Athletics at SeatGeek.com. That's SeatGeek.com, the official resale marketplace of Razorback Athletics.
We'll talk about what happened in Lexington when we return on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
He struck him out swinging. This is historic. You've never seen anything like this before.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You're on the forklift in your warehouse when it breaks down. You call Medley Equipment Company. Talk to Debbie.
Hello.
Debbie tells you they'll get you moving again. Debbie talks to a service tech.
Yep, I can do it.
Tech says when they can be there. That nice Debbie lady calls you back.
Hello.
Saying your forklift will be fixed in a few hours.
Nice.
Pretty fast, right? We're just trying to keep up because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Hey, Wes.
Billy, K is for horses. Are my ears that long?
Oh, you got me again. I'm gonna order a large Boss Hog pizza for fishing tomorrow.
That's a lot of food. You taking a friend?
No, sir. I'm gonna use it as bait.
Pizza as bait for fishing?
Yes'm. The catfish love 'em. Some Jim's Razorback pizza.
They do?
Yes'm. They chase the bacon faster than green grass through a goose.
Bacon? Never would have thunk it.
Yup. And they come right to the river's edge when I call them too. Woo! Fish suey!
Oh, blessed Billy. All right, son. Have fun fishing.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Freedom's being able to tee off the backboard. Liberty is being able to tee off the front.
Yes. The set, the 3-1. Swung on, hit in the air, deep by Hudson White to left field. There it goes, way out of here. Hudson White, second of the season.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Hudson White had himself quite a weekend, as did Peyton Stovall, two guys that really hit the ball consistently. Hudson White went 5 or 10, looked more like his Texas Tech hitting days, and then Peyton Stovall went 7 of 15. You end up losing the series in Lexington. We'll kind of talk about what happened coming up in just a bit.
You know, if you had a plumbing problem over the weekend and you don't know who to call this morning, or, you never know when your next plumbing problem is going to pop up, West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services is always there for you. Put their number in your phone, 479-646-5151. That's 646-5151. They've been around since 1993, taking care of water, sewer, gas, and grease lines. If you need a repair on anything like that, or you just have a leaky faucet or any plumbing need, they can do that as well. 479-646-5151 for Westark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services.
So outside of those two guys, you did not get a lot of timely hitting in games 2 and 3. If you look at what Arkansas did, 6 of 35 with runners in score or runners on in games 2 and 3, and they were 2 of 15 with runners of scoring position. You didn't get the best pitching performances from both Brady Tigert and Mason Molina, but hitting, again, a big issue for this team in games 2 and 3, and a big reason why you ended up dropping the series in Lexington. Not the end of the world. Again, that's the Kentucky team that now leads the SEC. You didn't lose to the worst team in the East. You lost to the best team, not just in the East, but overall in the SEC, and you still had a chance to really tie it up in game number 3 at the tail end in the 9th.
And as we speculated on Friday, LSU gave you some help. I knew that wasn't going to be easy for A&M just because going to Baton Rouge is never easy. They dropped 2 of 3. So, I mean, I have zero concern at this point. Yeah, would you have liked to have seen at least one of the 2 pitchers past Hagen Smith that started the games for you have better outings? Absolutely. You know, if it persists into the Mississippi State weekend, it's something worth noting. But I'll be interested to see if Molina comes back to being the Saturday starter. Does Tigert stay in that role? Neither one had career outings. Molina coming off the injury. I'll be interested to see what Chuck thinks about that. And when Dave talks this week leading up to their second to last regular season weekend and final home weekend, I'm sure that will be a question that comes up. Is Molina going to be game 2 or game 3?
Yeah, and does Gage Wood factor in to the equation, which Dave Van Horn
as a starter?
That's what he said on Saturday.
Gage didn't just eat up innings. He's getting ready to take somebody's job. I loved what I saw. I thought he did a great job pitching Tuesday night. I mean, he really, if you look at it, he had 1 pitch going today. The breaking ball wasn't there for him, and he got him out with that fastball. It had good carry on it. They were having trouble hitting it. I thought he threw great. He's already a long reliever, and he could close too. So he's going to get his opportunity to start a game. He started on Tuesday, and he started for a reason. And today we let him go about 75, 80 pitches for a reason. So, yeah, we'll see how this turns out.
One of my hot takes this morning, and I know some people will disagree, I don't think that you should change the starting rotation. And I don't know if it's initially a hot take, but after he said that, I think some people jumped on board. Well, Gage should be starting. Batesville kid, Arkansas kid. Brady doesn't have a good outing this weekend, just had 2 good ones. Molina's coming back from an injury. First off, I don't think he should, and second off, I don't think he's going to. But that is at least on the table based on those comments that you heard after Saturday.
Well, and I think he's trying to get some people's attention there. But I mean,
and that's all that is to me. I think that's all that is. It's just like, hey, you need to wake up. I don't think it's anything more than that.
Baseball's like golf, or it's like anything where touch and feel's involved. Throwing a football, shooting a basketball, hitting a golf ball. There is a fraction of an inch of difference in success and failure when it comes to pitching a baseball.
Yeah.
Much like it is those other things I just listed out. So sometimes it's not your week. He talked about Gage Wood, how impressed he was, and he didn't have 1 pitch working. Well, why wasn't that working? I don't know. Just wasn't his weekend. Was it his finger was off on the seam? I don't know. I don't know enough about it, but it's fractions of an inch that make a difference. It's humidity, it's heat, it's all sorts of things. So we'll see. But I am nowhere near, not even beginning to get worried nor concerned at this point. Arkansas needs to win. They got 6 games left. Be nice to win 3. Be nice to win 4, honestly, and win 5 of the last 9, like I talked about last week. They can do that. There's no concern whether or not they're going to be a national seed at this point, and you just can't spit the bit down the stretch here. You can't get swept, and I don't think you can go 1 for 3 the last 2 and be in the top half. I think you can and still be a national top 8 seed based on what you've done.
Let's talk to Brent, who's in Searcy on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. What's up, Brent?
All right, let's talk about this baseball team. Let's talk about it this weekend. Hagen Smith, fantastic. Brady Tigert, not so good. Molina, another bad start. Hitting, we got to do something to get to. I mean, after Friday night, we couldn't hit the ball out of the infield other than Hudson White and Stovall, and Diggs got a single. We gotta stop worrying about launch angle and how fast we hit the ball. We just gotta see ball, hit ball. And Coach Van Horn, we need to do something with our batting. I'm just gonna tell you.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do at this point? You're almost 50 games in. What changes you gonna make?
Tommy, that's why we pay the head coach big money. The first change I'd make is I'd look like square at our hitting coach and say, you better get it going, or you got 2 weeks to get it going. 4 weeks.
So Nate Thompson,
you're a top 5 team, and we're going to start threatening people's jobs.
Tommy, come on now.
I'm asking a reasonable question. Do an unreasonable demand. You're gonna put someone's job on the line with 2 weeks to go, and when you're ranked in the top 5 in the country.
Hey, it's a production business, Tommy. It's a production business, and look at how we're hitting the ball. Not very well. It's a production business.
Well, I think it's a really good idea to fire your hitting coach heading into the postseason. That's probably a good idea.
I think it's okay, Brent. What I will take some.
I agree with a lot you say, but come on.
Nate Thompson, you do wonder what they're going to do down the stretch in postseason, because, I mean, you look at their postseason losses last 5 or 6 years. I think Thompson, if I remember correctly, got here in 2018, if I remember right. It hasn't been your pitching that's let you down. It's been your hitting. And you wonder if this team, which looks to be very strong in the pitching department, particularly with Hagen Smith, if they lose in postseason, is it going to be because of your hitting that lets you down again?
So he was a good hitting coach Friday night when how many runs did they score Friday? Was it 11? I can't remember, but was he a good hitting coach on Friday and a bad hitting coach on Saturday and Sunday?
I think what I would say to Brent's point, it's you referenced the top 5 ranking. You're not because of hitting. You're because of your pitching. That's why. It's not because you're hitting this year. It's because you're pitching.
I think it's because of the team as a whole. Hey, roll into the season with WT Equipment and get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even large commercial-grade hay equipment at WT Equipment. Now is the time. Save $5,000, $10,000, maybe even more in cash back right now with 0% financing available for 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compact tractors. Hey, whether you need an upgrade for weekend chores, you need consistent strength and efficiency for the daily grind, go to WT Equipment. There's a location near you. They're your partner in progress.
Era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest in a...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sácale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line podcast network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sácale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing.
The day on different races, not just the Kentucky Derby, but also Oaklawn as well. Hopefully you won some money after Saturday. Some may be down, some may be up. I know I'm down, unfortunately. Should have gone with my gut instinct, which was Mystic Dan. We'll talk more about that coming up as Chuck joins the conversation in just a sec.
I didn't bet a lot on Saturday, or a lot of tickets, or a lot of money for that matter, but I didn't cash a one. I mean, I bet 2 or 3 of the races leading up, had a couple superfectas where you're just guessing. You know, you're just trying to guess on that. But like you, I was on the wrong horse on Saturday in the big one as well. Hey, it's Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Time to load up on great savings on Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley Model Zs. Every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty to help you camp with confidence. Stopping at Wheels, Find out why they've again been voted best RV dealer year after year. That's Wills RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wills RV.
And Mystic Dan is down. Come through on the inside. It is Mystic Dan down toward the inside with the lead in the final 16. Forever Young. Sierra Leone is coming. These three coming down to the wire. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's a photo of the Derby. Oh, it's a photo. Was it Mystic Dan or was it Sierra Leone? Forever Young was between them. Catching Freedom finished fourth. A photo finish to decide the 150th Kentucky Derby.
Well, Chuck, we know after the fact it was Mystic Dan in that photo finish that he mentioned, about as close as we've seen in recent years. I know there's been some horses the last few years that have won pretty outright, but that was not the case on Saturday.
Oh, you won't see a better finish than what we saw on Saturday. I mean, it brought the nation to its feet.
Yeah.
You know, if you were watching that race, it brought you to your feet, brought you out of your chair. And it was, it was just one of those moments that we'll talk about for a while. And every time the Kentucky Derby rolls around, they'll play that highlight. And I just thought when it was over, I felt like the whole state had won. I felt like the Razorbacks had beaten Texas. I mean, it was, you saw those old boys from Arkansas up there. They'd gone to Churchill Downs and they'd won the Kentucky Derby, won $3.1 million. And it was really incredible to watch and just incredibly happy for them. And again, I mean, it just kind of felt like the whole state won a ball game.
Well, I think you felt that way if you had a ticket on the 3-horse. If you didn't have a ticket on the 3-horse, you felt like everybody in the state won but you.
I was just happy that they, even though I didn't pick them, I was just happy that they won.
Yeah. No, I was happy for them. And, it's nice to see those ties and really the story. And I don't know a lot about Lance Gasaway's story, but just a farmer from, from Gould originally,
Gould,
but
Star
City and
people.
Monticello and got some football ties back to his days to, it's just a small town story and small town guy made good. That the biggest horse race in the world. And with Arkansas ties, that's great. And I know Coach was there. He had a tie with the Hambies, who are part owners. And like many of these horse racing ventures, Chuck, it's not just Lance Gasaway. There's a lot of connections, as they call it, to this horse.
I think for a few minutes, we need to put money aside, business aside, and tickets aside, and be happy for our fellow Arkansans.
Absolutely.
It was not someone with an Arkansas tie. It was one of us.
Yeah.
It was one of us. And I think we should just put all that other stuff aside for a minute and be happy for somebody from our state who had a great day.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just one guy, as you mentioned. It was Lance and Brent Gasaway, cousins. You had Banks Hamby, that's his nickname, Daniel Hamby. You mentioned Jamie and Sam being there. You also have the trainer, and help me on his name, Tommy Kenny McPeak, as his name, who's from or is born in Fort Chaffee, has a house in Hot Springs. So it's not just, again, one or two people, it's several people connected to that horse, which is pretty cool.
And there was others at the Derby. I mean, you just watch. I mean, they did a lot of conversation and talked directly to the coach down there, and I'm our coach. Why am I drawing a blank here? He's got a house in Hot Springs. Dwayne Lucas.
Okay.
I mean, so there was a lot of connections because of Oaklawn that have Arkansas ties. I mean, I'll be Arkansas, but Oaklawn and our state, I think, was well represented. And a lot of those folks, like Kenny McPeak, like Dwayne Lucas, and others, spend a lot of time in the natural state because of Oaklawn.
Well, you heard Arkansas, Chuck, mentioned several times in the broadcast post. I mean, I probably counted 6 or 7 mentions after just they formally announced that Mystic Dan won. So, yeah, it was you were right in the meat. Not only, of course, you're playing in Lexington this weekend, but that name was I don't know how many times I've heard Arkansas over the course of a Kentucky Derby when I watched, but you heard it plenty of times on Saturday.
Well, and again, I just, for me, it just felt like the whole state won.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a great moment. And, it was, as I watched the post-race stuff, I just thought, when they interviewed Lance Gasaway, I mean, everybody's got a member of their family like that who he'd just as soon stay home as be in the crowd if there are more than 10 people there. I got relatives like that. they're really good at what they do, and they deserve more acclaim than they get. But that's just not important to them. And I just enjoyed watching them up there when it was over. I thought it was a great moment for our state.
So his wife, Sherilyn's going to join us tomorrow. She's got a public speaking background, and I think it's going to be cool to get her perspective from being there in attendance. Because, like you said, Lance doesn't not necessarily want to be in the public eye and whatnot. That's not his cup of tea. So it's going to be cool to, I think, get that vantage point and perspective tomorrow at 7 a.m.
Well, now, let me say this, though. He did get over it. I mean, he, you could tell that he was genuine when he said that, hey, this isn't exactly my kind of scene. But he was still having a good time. Yeah. Well, I mean, he was still enjoying himself quite a bit.
What I found as I was reading up, just kind of doing some research in the backstory, his dad passed away a year ago Saturday.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, this is significant for not only just won the Kentucky Derby, but the backstory is his dad took him, again, Gold Arkansas to Oaklawn back in the day, and they fell in love with horse racing. So it's a pastime and tradition, and it came to the greatest of fruition just this weekend.
Leading up to the race, and Chuck, I'm sure you saw this because this was an hour or so before post time, but they did a feature on the numbers, and there was nearly 18,000 foals born that 3 years ago that would have been eligible to run in this race. Only about half ever started a race, and of that, about a third ever won a race. And you just kept going on down. 20 horses out of 18,000 made the starting gate for the Kentucky Derby. When you stop and you break it down to those numbers, and they did, it was like 0.1%. So when you talk about best in the world at anything, horse racing may do the best job of all because of just the nature of the sport of putting on display the absolute best of the best. I'd never thought of it in those terms, Chuck, but that stuck with me.
Well, they make comparison to humans. I mean, it's like this in football, and basketball, and baseball. How many kids play high school sports?
Mm-hmm.
How many kids play college sports? How many of them make the pros? Or get to play in an NBA Finals or a World Series or Super Bowl. The number's very, very small, and it's that way. I'm sure in horse racing. I don't follow it as closely as I do, the human sports, I guess. But I guess you could say horse racing's a human sport too.
Yeah. So things went well for Arkansans at Churchill Downs. About an hour and a half up the road. Not as well as we'd like to see, as Arkansas and Kentucky tangled for 3 games in Lexington. So Arkansas drops that series, one of the few SEC series, Chuck, they've dropped this year. They won Friday behind Hagen Smith and struggled on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, just couldn't get the timely hit yesterday. Got some guys on, and he fell behind in both those games. And it's it's tougher when you're playing a good team at their place to come back. I felt pretty good after that game Friday night. I thought, okay, they're going to win this series. No, I didn't ever think they were going to sweep them, but I thought they would. I thought they'd find a way to win one of those 2 games, and just didn't work out that way. And now you got to come home. You got to play well this weekend against a team that is hot, and then you go to A&M. And the thing that you want to make certain, and I think one of the things that we need to keep in mind is that once we get home, and I say we, I'm using the collective we, once the Razorbacks get home from Texas A&M, they're not going to have to play outside Baum Stadium again until they get to Omaha, or the season ends. Once they get back from the conference tournament, I guess. I don't even consider that maybe as much as I should. But the point is, once you get into the NCAA tournament, until you get to Omaha, which is the ultimate of neutral fields, you're not going to be going into anybody's house for a 3-game series. And it sure would have been nice to have won. And clearly you want to win the conference. You want to win the West. You'd like to have a ring when this thing's over, and that's important. But, baseball's a streaky game. And, look, if they get into the postseason and they're going through one of these streaks where they can't get a timely hit, might not work out the way we want it to. if they get into the NCAA tournament and they're going through a streak where they're getting timely hits and they're continuing to pitch and play defense, they could be the last one standing.
Yeah. What did you make of Brady Tigert on Saturday and Molina's return on Sunday? What was your thoughts on their individual starts?
Well, not as good as you need to be to win. You got to throw strikes. You got to get ahead of people. And that, for a pitcher, the first order of business is you got to throw your fastball for a strike. And not just a strike, you've got to locate it well within the zone. And I thought particularly on Saturday that was an issue. They just did not work them into pitchers' counts.
Yeah. That's what, when talking about throwing strikes specifically with the fastball, that's what Brady wasn't able to do. Dave said that after the game on Saturday.
The issue would have been just didn't throw his fastball for a strike, didn't throw it where he wanted it, and it made it very difficult to pitch because they just started sitting on off-speed pitches, and that's how that went.
I also think one of the key plays from Saturday, and I'm forgetting if it was the second or third inning, but there's 2 outs, and there's a fly ball in the left field. Lovich kind of misjudges it where he is on the wall, and it went from being Arkansas still could have been 2-0 at that point in the game. Instead, it's 3-2 Kentucky, and it completely changed the entire dynamic of the first couple innings on Saturday.
Couple of points. Let's go back to the sitting on the breaking stuff, as Dave said. When we watch Tigert pitch and he's effective, and he throws that slider or breaking ball, whatever it is they call it these days, and these guys chase it when it's out of the strike zone, that's a result of getting ahead with the fastball and working it into a pitcher's count. If it's 2-1 as opposed to 1-2, that guy's not going to chase that breaking pitch that's out of the strike zone. He's not going to, and because he doesn't have to, because he's going to live to see another pitch. If you're ahead with that fastball, that breaking pitch that starts out of the strike zone is what gets him out. So if you can't throw that fastball for a strike, that breaking pitch doesn't work anymore. Mm-hmm. And as far as the defense in the outfield goes, this is kind of what we've talked about before. Outfield play is really important. Here's the thing about outfield play. Your great plays and your mistakes don't often show up in the box score per se.
Yeah.
In other words, you may misplay a ball at the wall that has scored a double, but it's a play a good outfielder makes. Or it's a play, I shouldn't say that, not necessarily a play a good outfielder makes, but a play a championship team makes. And that's where you've got to be solid. I think, though, that if you really look at the team, the one thing that I will say is we move forward, and we're getting to the point now where just a hot bat won't get you on the field. There are points in the season where, hey, man, if you're knocking the cover off the ball, they'll find a spot for you. May not always be that way when you get into the postseason. You can't cost your team runs.
Yeah. I couldn't help but wonder on that turf field, the lack of a warning track, if that didn't play into that play with Lovich.
I thought he was feeling for the wall.
I thought, there's a reason they call it a warning track. So that, hey, I'm nearing the wall. And when if you're not able to catch out of your peripheral, and I don't know, I've never been in that spot. I've never tracked down a fly ball that's near the wall, but I would imagine the change in color and not the change in the feel of your feet or the surface may not be enough. So I just wonder if that played a part at all in that play.
Maybe. I know that, you go in on Thursday night, and when you practice, one of the things you do is you work on balls at the wall, on the track, off the wall. But you're right. I mean, it certainly could have. I don't know. But that's again, that's just one of those plays that it may very well come up again. And I'm certain. Certain.
We're going to play on real baseball fields the rest of the way, Chuck.
Well, yeah, hopefully. But those are the type plays that come up in critical situations in big games.
I don't know. Those bubbles at Bluebell Field could be very distracting in 2 weeks.
It'll be a real baseball surface, though.
Well, yeah, it'll be different than what they have there. These kids do play on that, and I'm not of the travel ball generation, but I know that there are a lot of places these kids play, high school travel ball, things of that nature, where they're playing on that type surface. Hey, if you're buying or selling a home, Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, is the partners I talk about, and I want to recommend them wholeheartedly to you. We all find ourselves moving for different reasons. Maybe you've been transferred. Maybe the kids have moved out and you're downsizing. Maybe you got more kids and you got to upsize. Whatever your situation is, when you partner with an agent at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, you are partnering with someone who understands the market. And that's important. Every market's different. The real estate game can vary from area to area, so to speak. And they understand that at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. But the one thing that is the common denominator always is that you're going to get one of the best trained agents in the business. And I can tell you from my experience, buying and selling, they'll get you from contract to close. And at the end of the day, that's what makes a real estate transaction go. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas, Washington and Benton County, Fort Smith, Branson. They've got a wide selection of homes, too, and you can check it out at WeicherGriffin.com.
We've got some text to get to here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Before we kind of read some of those off and get your feedback at 877-377-6963, let's talk to Gentle Ben, who's got some thoughts on baseball this morning in Saline County. What's up, buddy?
Gentle Ben, what's up, buddy?
Yes, sir. Hey, man, what y'all are talking about, and I've been one of these fans, or maybe I'm the only fan, but I've been thinking, yeah, this is the year we're going to do it. We've got everything we need to do it, and then we're going to win it all. We're going to catch the foul ball and end the game and be national champs and not miss it, and all that stuff. And but then lately I got to thinking, with all the hope that I've got and everything, and it's fun, but all you have to do in this World Series, the series part, is lose 2 games. And that's pretty hard to overcome. I mean, it's pretty easy to get bumped out. And so anyway, when I was thinking about this series here, that just came back to my mind that, if you get in that series and things just don't go your way, it's just easy to go real far and then be on that plane coming back home. And even if it's not somebody great, it could be Hippity-Doo from Prognostic, Tennessee that beat you. So anyway, I guess what I'm saying is my head had been in the clouds, but my feet's back down on the ground, and I still believe we can win it all. But I can see where we can put it together, but I also see kind of how much harder it is than I thought it was to win it all, and I'm spoiled. We've won so much and been to it so many times and played in the championship game a time or two in my lifetime. And so anyway, just wanted to call with them thoughts, and I think we can do it, and we will, but it sure is hard. So anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for the call. Thanks for letting me. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. They've made it look so easy, and we've got to talk about this before. It's hard to do. I was looking at the record over the weekend from 18. The year when we thought they had it won and they didn't. Same weekend that year. This very same weekend. They dropped 2 of 3 to LSU. And they'd been swept by Mississippi State previously, a couple of weeks earlier. So you go through peaks and valleys in a season, and that team was within an out of winning the whole thing. So he's right, though. There was a great headline in the Northwest Arkansas Times in 1999 when Missouri State, or then Southwest Missouri, ended Arkansas' season. It said, poof, and it's over. And that's what can happen in seasons. I thought it was one of the great headlines of all time. It encompassed the morning very, very well. You can have a great team, and you can have 5 months' worth of great games. But if you have one bad day, it's over. And that's what makes it so tough.
Only stat you have to reference in regards to that, Chuck, is the fact that you haven't had a number 1 overall seed win it since 1999. And
well, there's a lot of pressure involved for that team.
Mm-hmm. But Arkansas, and again, some fans
And they're one of those 25 teams.
Yeah,
so.
Arkansas fans, some are kind of happy they lost this week because they don't want to be the number 1 overall seed. I'm of the belief that I think you take it regardless, but we'll see how these last 2 weeks play out as Kentucky now has a lead in the SEC overall standings.
People are upset sometimes because they're not a juggernaut. They don't roll over everybody every weekend, but then they say, but I don't want to be the number 1 seed.
Right.
So, I mean, which is it?
It's funny how that goes. Ryan is in Hot Springs this morning on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Ryan, I bet they're partying in Hot Springs with the connections to Mystic Dan on Saturday.
Well, I worked all weekend, so I wouldn't know. But I was going to tell you this. I was on. I think it's kind of funny. Everybody kind of forgets about how hard it is to go on the road in the SEC and pretty much any sport to win a game. But when you get down to it, when we start getting into tournament part of it, it really comes down to is your road team better than their road team because it's neutral, and even when it's kind of how we did this weekend, I still got to think that on a neutral field, I still think that we would have as much if we played them in the SEC tournament, I really fully believe I think Arkansas will beat them.
And here's the other thing about a neutral: is it really neutral when you're in Omaha? I mean, is it really the way our fans travel? I mean, I've watched that stadium dominate. I know it's Charles Schwab now. I've watched that stadium be dominated over the years in Razorback Red because it's about a 6-hour drive from Fayetteville. Maybe first game or two off the offset, but once that second weekend hits, you've got about as much of a home field advantage as anyone else that's typically there.
Well, if fans played, Ty, Arkansas would have already won the national championship. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but yes, it is very much a neutral field.
You brought up neutral earlier, that's my thought.
Well, I can just tell you, having been around teams that go through all that, it's very much a neutral field. Very much.
Hey, do you want to spruce up your existing home or start from the ground up? Either way, check with Farm Credit of Western Arkansas first before you get started and find out why. For more than 100 years, Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has helped local families like yours make their dream home come true. Visit myaglender.com or visit one of their 25 locations today. That's myaglender.com.
All right, when we return here on the Morning Rush, talking to some guys in NBA action. Daniel Gafford and the Dallas Mavericks defeat the Los Angeles Clippers in game number 6 as they move on. Anthony Edwards takes game 1 for the Minnesota Timberwolves, plus the first game between the Knicks and the Pacers. All that's coming up hour number 2 on the Morning Rush.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. You need the Lindbergh team, home of Arkansas's only instant offer program. Get a cash offer on your home in only 72 hours. Lindbergh Real Estate Group is the #1 team in Arkansas with over $1 billion sold and voted best of the best 10 years in a row, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and now the River Valley. Find out more at lindberghteam.com. LIMBIRD.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
479-782-3936.
That's the $1 million question.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey, I'm Hagan Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It's 2024. Let's go see what's new at the Golf Nut. Peen G430 Max 10K driver. Peen's straightest and most forgiving driver. TaylorMade QI 10 Max woods and irons with 10K inertia, making it the most forgiving driver ever. And Cleveland Launcher XL2 woods and irons. Call Matt Brooks for a lesson, 646-4430. And start a new year with more confidence on the course. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Hey, Wes. Billy, hay is for horses. I have an idea to bring in more customers. What you got? We yell on the radio, woo, pig suey. We're going to call the hogs? Yeah, we call them all in. Woo, pig suey. Come get your pizza at Jim's Razorback Pizza.
I'd rather not.
Don't you love the hogs?
Of course. But we can't call our customers hogs.
But they're hog fans, and our name is Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Billy, I love your enthusiasm. Look it, if you think we should do it, then let's do it.
Woo! Pixie!
What about moo instead of woo? We use Wisconsin cheese.
Really? You and them dang cows. Woo! Pixie!
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a chance of seeing showers and thunderstorms. They will be few and far between. Our high this afternoon, our precipitation near 80. A chance of isolated showers, a few thunderstorms tonight, and overnight low will drop down in the low to mid 60s. And another round of showers and storms on Saturday, a high upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your morning.
ESPN 95.3.
Mystic Dan is out. Come toward the inside. It is Mystic Dan down toward the inside with the lead in the final 16. Forever Young. Sierra Leone is coming. These three coming down the wire. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's a photo. Oh, it's a photo. Is it Mystic Dan? A photo finish to decide the 150th Kentucky Derby.
Mystic Dan is the one I'm going to roll with.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
You know, occasionally gambling brings you pain. You heard the tail end of that open where I was rolling with Mystic Dan in the 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock hour. I then switched allegiances to Honor Marie, who did not place, show, or do anything, unfortunately, on Saturday. Lost some money this weekend. It's not the end of the world. Some of you won. Some of you lost. I just...
what did you say? It cost you $3,000?
Yeah, it cost me $3,000.
How do you figure?
Because if I bet the 150 on Mystic Dan like I was supposed to.
But you weren't going to.
I was going to.
Oh.
And then I switched allegiance. I lost money this weekend.
Yeah.
I lost money this weekend.
So you weren't strong enough in your own convictions to stay with your first thought.
I was dumb to switch allegiances from Honor Marie to Mystic Dan in the 8 o'clock
You were blaming Chuck for this early in the show.
Chuck convinced me, man. I was on Mystic Dan.
I just brought it to the table. You're the one that allowed it to confuse you.
Right.
Which, of course, was my point.
Yeah, could have been up $3,000. Instead, I'm down money this morning, which is a bummer. I would have bought everyone something thanks to the winnings, but now I'm just going to have to trudge on with my life.
Do you believe for a second, Chuck, he was going to put 150 on a single horse to win?
Well, no.
Of course
no
not.
No belief. You'd think co-hosts would have better believe in me, but evidently
well,
we
we're
don't.
talking about a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Because it didn't happen, and it's a wasted chance.
Yeah. That's our hot take on a Hot Take Monday.
Yeah,
It's brought to you
you
by...
let confusion reign.
I think you just let other people's opinion cloud your judgment.
I should have rolled with my gut. Always trust your first instinct when it comes to betting women in restaurants, because it can never ever go wrong if you don't abide by that. If you don't abide by that, it's gonna bite you in the.
There's another
Your
saying.
10 years of adulthood have taught you all that.
There's another phrase that's called hindsight is 20/20. I think that's truer in the stock market and horse racing than probably anywhere else. Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV. That's where you get the lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell, so you can camp with confidence. Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley's are all there for you. Plus a great lineup of others on hand and in stock right now. Stop in and see them. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
So a lot of us watched, if not all of us watched, what happened in Louisville this week. And maybe you missed the Dallas Mavericks moving on. Daniel Gafford had himself quite a game 6, 13 points, 6 rebounds, had an outstanding day for the Dallas Mavericks. They are going to move on and take on the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow night. Chuck, your Knicks will take on the Pacers. First game 1 tonight at 6:30 on TNT. And then the T-Wolves and Nuggets will bounce back for game 2, where the T-Wolves and Anthony Edwards surprisingly won that game 1 matchup in Denver. So second round of the playoffs get going in the NBA later on tonight.
Well, it'll be fun to have 2 kids from Fort Smith and 1 from El Dorado on the floor together in the NBA playoffs. That'll be a lot of fun. Happy for all of them that they're getting a chance to do that, and it ought to be a good series. Dallas is one of those teams that you better not count out, as the Clippers found out. So they've got some weapons, and when you've got Doncic, I mean you've got a chance to. You got a chance to beat anybody.
Yep. Kyrie Irving and Doncic really like playing with Daniel Gafford. They seem to always look for him on these assists, these lobs, and it is going to be fun to watch him and Jalen go mano-a-mano at some points this series, because they both play the same position. So 3 Arkansas Razorbacks featured in that Western Conference semifinal matchup, which gets going again tomorrow night. I was amazed at what Anthony Edwards was able to do. Here's a stat from Athlon Sports. It's the first time they've had back-to-back postseason games with 40-plus points. The first player at age 22 years old since the late Kobe Bryant. And I know we've talked about stars being in lesser markets like him and Halliburton, but he's with no Kevin Durant, no Steph Curry, no LeBron James. Chuck, he's the biggest star in the NBA right now. It's not close, in my opinion.
Well, he's not the biggest star. He may be the best player. But, that is the question moving forward. And you brought it up the other day, and I think it's an interesting question. Do guys like, Anthony Edwards continue to stay where they are, or do they somehow find their way to L.A. or Boston or New York or where a lot of the other franchise players seem to find themselves? Do they end up on one of the coasts? But he's an exciting player. Now, they're not in the NBA Finals yet. They've not won the championship yet. There's a long way to go. But he is an exciting player, and right now there's not anybody playing any better.
Yep. You had the Cavs beat the Magic yesterday. Donovan Mitchell was phenomenal. Didn't see Anthony Black, unfortunately, but the Cavs move on and will take on the Boston Celtics, who are expected to win that series. I saw a stat that, teams that have better odds, I think they're Boston's minus 1,400 or minus 1,800 to win the series, and a team that has those type of odds or better has never lost a series in the history of betting. So Boston has a strong advantage, and
there's always a first time.
Yeah, there could be.
It's not going to be in the Boston series, but there's always there'll be a first time somewhere.
No LeBron James in Cleveland yet. They are continuing on this stretch. But those are the games the next couple days again in the NBA playoffs. I'm excited to see what Oklahoma City can do in that first game. Close in proximity, you think about Dallas to Oklahoma City, not just the Arkansas connections, but there's a lot of people in both Texas and Oklahoma. We know about the Sooners and the Texas rivalry. That's going to be I would think the best semifinal series.
What time's that game start?
Tomorrow night. It's the 8:30 one, Chuck.
I'm out.
And it's so tough. They've been putting OKC at the later game, and I'll watch a little bit of the first quarter, and I'm passed out. I'm like you, man. I just can't. I can't stay up for these later. The one at 6 is perfect. I'll watch that one in its entirety, but I'll watch the first quarter of the 8:30 game. Then I'm just done. I'm passed out.
Ty, I burned it at both ends when I was your age. I mean, I'm an old man now. I have an excuse. You're just, you're 29 going on 45.
I guess I don't. I guess I need to. No, I don't have to wake up at 3:30 maybe for some of these mornings, especially with the team playing the night before. But that is a setup again for the NBA.
What do you do between 3:30 and 6?
A lot of sound prep,
Really?
preparing for the day. I get here about 4:15 each morning. I got here.
I just wondered what all you did to prepare for
Trust
this.
me, I wish I didn't have to wake
show.
up that early, but just kind of how it rolls.
Okay.
I'm just glad I don't. 4:30 is early enough for me.
You get here at 5:45 and everything's good, ready to roll for you.
Problem is 5:45 comes around again and I'm still here. That's the problem a lot of days. Hey, brought to you by The Hangout. If you're just getting back from the gym and you had to wait to get on the treadmill this morning or the stair mill, and now you're getting ready for work and you don't feel like you really got to work out, hey, check out The Hangout in Fort Smith. It's where, if you're wanting to actually work out, you can at The Hangout. They've got an 8,000 square foot gym. It's got every kind of piece of equipment you can imagine and lots of them. So you never have to wait on the thing you're trying to do, in your circuit or in your training or in your cardio. They've got indoor tennis. They've got pickleball. They've got basketball, and they got more coming as well. Look, if you're looking for help in the gym, they've got trainers on staff. If you're looking for help with your racket game, they've got 3 different tennis pros to help you grow your game as well. So stop in and check out The Hangout, 5400 Gary Street, or go to thehangoutfs.com and get more information there as well. Be a part of something different, something better that Fort Smith has needed. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Andy Mountain Home texted in on the McLarty Daniel hotline advocating for a change in the starting pitching rotation. He thinks Gage Wood has done enough the last couple starts to put him in the starting rotation. Should they change up the starting rotation in these next couple weeks before postseason play? That is our Morning Rush Daily question, and we will answer it when we come back here on a Hot Take Monday here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. You need the Lindbergh team, home of Arkansas's only instant offer program. Get a cash offer on your home in only 72 hours. Lindbergh Real Estate Group is the #1 team in Arkansas with over $1 billion sold and voted best of the best 10 years in a row, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and now the River Valley. Find out more at lindberghteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fitzman can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fitzman can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call the Fitzman and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
It was a very good conversation, Ty.
This is the Morning Rush.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else. My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's. Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. Tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
So we got a couple thoughts on the starting pitching rotation and just the pitching rotation overall. And Andy in Mountain Home wondering if they should make a change. He thinks they should. Now, Dave had some comments after the series about his starters and just pitchers overall. Here's what he said about the guys that are hot right now.
We got the SEC tournament too. I think every time somebody goes out on the field, they're pitching to keep their spot. They're working in practice to keep their spot. You know, once you get established, you know, you get some leeway, but we got to go with the guys that are getting it done. And it's that time of year, you know, and on the mound, I mean, Smith has been lights out, and Brady's had 2 good weekends in a row. Today wasn't a good day for him, but it's good to know that we got some other guys that, you know, can pick us up or grab a spot if they need to.
One of those guys being Gage Wood, who came in Game 2 after Brady just wasn't able to find the strike zone with his fastball and just didn't have a good day. Now, again, you heard it there. Dave said he did have 2 back-to-back solid 6+ inning performances. Just didn't go. Molina coming off that injury, doesn't have a good Game 3 outing. I'm of the belief, I don't know how y'all feel, that they shouldn't adjust the starting rotation. Now, if you want to adjust when you maybe see Gage Wood out of the bullpen, I think I would understand that. I know Mac had a good midweek performance, a good Friday performance, did not have a good Sunday performance, but I don't think that they should change their starting pitching rotation.
Barring collapse or injury, you're getting to the point in the year, and Chuck, you talked about a hot bat's not enough. You're getting to the point in the year where making dramatic changes, and to me, a change to your 3-man rotation is pretty dramatic at this point. There needs to be a collapse or an injury to really put that into serious consideration.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's too early, number one, to do that. It's encouraging that Gage Woods pitched well out of the bullpen, and that gives you another great arm out of the bullpen. So I think that's where his value is added to the team, is right there where he is. Now, look, you may get into a regional situation, probably not a super regional, but if you find yourself in the loser's bracket of a first-round regional, and sometimes that first round's harder to win because it stretches your personnel even more than a super regional does, especially if you get into the loser's bracket. There might be a game where somebody like Gage Wood has to start, you know, because of where you are that day. But I don't think over the final 2 weekends of the regular season you change your starting rotation, no.
Let me ask you about this scenario, conference tournament, where you've got that single elimination, double elimination, single elimination, goofy bracket. Would you consider starting someone like Gage Wood in Hoover?
Well, I think you might, depending upon the situation. You know, to say, you know, we're going to rule that out, well, you don't know exactly what situation you're going to find yourself in down there. But to say you're absolutely going to do it, you know, if you go 2 and out, it's not going to, you know, it doesn't give you a chance. Or if you, you know, if you do great and you don't have to alter your rotation at all, you don't have that opportunity. So do you consider it if the situation presents itself where you need to start someone other than those 3? Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of the things that I think we need to watch is, and I'm just from the outside looking in, just as a fan. I look at McIntyre and Molina right now, and I'm not talking about arms. You know, sometimes you get to the end of the season, and I'm not saying your body breaks down, but you get tired. Your body gets tired, and by your body, I mean from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. Your mind gets tired. Your arm gets tired. Your legs get tired. Everything gets tired. And I wonder. I wonder sometimes about the big guys with the bigger frames, the pitchers. I don't think so much about their arms. I think about their bodies. And so, what I hope is that between the time that they play Texas A&M and the time they open NCAA tournament play, that these kids' bodies have some time to recover. It's a long season, and it is very much a grind, very much a grind. And right now, even though we as fans focus on, the regular season race, those kids are in that period between the fun of the season and the postseason, and it's a grind for them right now. And so I think we got to keep that in mind too.
Isn't it? Is it finals week this week or was
correct?
So I mean, they're nearing the point where baseball's 100% of their time. They don't have to worry about class. They don't have to worry about a final. They don't have to worry about that and rest and getting proper sleep and rehab and all those things that go into getting your body ready will be you'll be able from a time standpoint to be a pro baseball player for a while. Because
there's a day-to-dayness to the
on.
game.
Yeah.
There is a day-to-dayness to the game, and to me, just even at the big league level, and maybe especially at the big league level, that's one of the impressive things about these guys is if you've ever had a ball come at you at 100 miles an hour, most of us haven't, but if you've ever had one at 100 miles per hour, you got to be on full alert, and these guys are on full alert, day to day, and that's pretty impressive.
Russell in Huntsville saying he wants to switch Tiger back to game 3 and Molina back to 2. Now that I could see happening. Again, the reason that Molina shifted that game 3 is because he was coming off that basically week of injury and now back in that. I anticipate.
And Tiger had some good outings.
Yeah, and if you remember, they started the season with Brady in the 2 slot, and then Tiger was the Sunday guy, and then they switched it. I would expect them to switch it back, but we'll see how these final 2 weeks go of the regular season before they go to Hoover, Alabama for the SEC tournament. All right, that is your Morning Rush Daily Question presented by our friends at Red River Dodge.
Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. Schedule your service appointment today at gopascal.com.
All right, so Arkansas baseball again drops the series to Kentucky this weekend in the Southeastern Conference. How did the rest of the games go in this league, guys? Surprisingly, and I say surprisingly, Tommy, you kind of alluded to it on Friday. A&M lost their series to LSU, and even though that Tommy Tanks and company haven't had the best of seasons, they got it done against the Aggies this weekend in 2 of 3.
I think if he had one more gold chain, they would win more. I think he's lacking one more.
He is the
chain.
epitome of a baseball DB, and everyone knows what that acronym stands for. He's a great player. He's one of the best hitters in the country, but I guarantee you he is not a good person off the field. I'm just telling you.
Well, now you don't know that. Just because he wears a lot of gold?
You can read the vibes off someone, Chuck. Come on now. You can read it.
Well, I never thought going to Baton Rouge was going to be easy for A&M to just waltz in there and take a series. And obviously LSU, I don't think LSU's dead and gone. I think they realize they're on the outside looking in of the regionals right now. They're not going to host. They could be someone's worst nightmare as a 3 seed. I can't see the committee, Chuck, putting LSU with all their history in as a 4 seed anywhere, but they're trying to play their way into the field right now, and they responded this weekend. I thought it was a big lift.
Oh, yeah. LSU's going to be in. They're going to be in the tournament. I think we lose sight of the fact how highly rated these SEC teams are in the computers that, just like in basketball, make a lot of the determination about who's going to play where and where they're going to be seated when we get to the NCAA tournament. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility LSU could end up being a 2 seed somewhere. It's not likely. They'd have to get really hot for that to happen. But the only difference between in a 4-team regional, the only difference between a 2 and a 3 is what color uniforms you wear in the first game. That's the only difference. And so, yeah, LSU will be dangerous because they'll bring a bunch of those crazy people with them to somebody's ballpark for a regional, and they'll take over that place, and they'll be hard to beat.
Yeah, they haven't updated the RPI. It's still back to May 2nd at the site. They were 43 going into the weekend. I'll be interested when they get it updated on the NCAA site, how far up they come from 43 after beating A&M 2 of 3.
Yeah, and the other team that's hot right now is Tennessee. They win against Florida this weekend. They're at 17-7 in conference, right behind Kentucky, another team that you're going to potentially have to deal with, not in the regular season, but also in Hoover and maybe the postseason too. That's a really good hitting team, and they did exactly that against the Gators this weekend.
Yeah, Tennessee's good. They're a team that could end up in Omaha. Arkansas, Kentucky, Texas A&M. There's probably another one or two out there. I'll tell you, had a good weekend. The Georgia Bulldogs had a good weekend. They swept Vanderbilt. And Georgia's hot. Mississippi State took 2 of 3 from Alabama. I think Mississippi State's won 2 or 3 series in a row now. So they're playing well. And one of those teams can come out of the pack.
Yeah, Vandy's going to have to go on the road this year. I don't see Vandy hosting a regional. They're outside the top 20. There's only so many that the SEC is going to get. And I don't, they're not in a position right now to be one of the 16 sites or anywhere close to a seeded team right now. I think they're a 2 seed somewhere, and that's, they're going to show up in someone's SEC stadium if they've survived the first weekend.
And Tim Corbin's another coach you don't want to have to see as a regional team host. That is another squad that you would rather not.
Any of those teams are good enough if they get hot to make a run. Yep. Now, you got to get hot at the right time. Right? And even for the great teams, you've got to be hot at the right time. You've got to be playing well at the right time. But any of those teams could get hot and make a deep run.
So how does your head baseball coach feel right now where your team is against first in the SEC West, second in the SEC? Here's Dave Van Horn after the series.
We're excited to play. We always want to win as many games as we can. And, I think that we just go out there, play hard, and, the rest will take care of itself. So we're looking forward to getting back out there. Kentucky's got a good team, and so it's going to be fun and rubber match. So it's kind of what you live for and in college baseball and the SEC. So it's going to be fun, and we're looking forward to it.
That was Stovall. I had the time cues off there, but he said after the game, again, they lost the series. I know some people make too much of it. Here's what he had to actually say on when they ended up losing the series post-game.
We just got done playing, so conversation would be to get some rest this week, get it going this weekend. Sometimes that's just what it is. No excuses. We played a lot of games in the last 4 weeks. We've done pretty well. None of our midweek games have been against easy teams. We've had to play hard and pitch hard, and it's tough losing the series, especially on the road like this when we felt like if we could have just swung the bats a little bit better. But we didn't deserve to win this series, honestly. But now we got finals this week. Give the guys a few days off, get it back going again, hopefully play better against Mississippi State next weekend.
And that was kind of what you referenced on the finals this week, graduation this weekend, more of a professional type approach, Chuck, that you brought up earlier.
Well, one thing, too, and it goes back to what I said a minute ago about resting your bodies. Regardless of finals, regardless of anything this week, I think coming off that series, you speak to the team on the bus after you land at the airport. Guys, I don't want to see you for a couple of days, but you better come back in here Wednesday ready to bust it. And I think sometimes you need a day off. I think you need a day or two away. We as fans think, well, they had a bad series, man. They got to go to work and grind it out. Look at that schedule. Look at what they've been doing the last 2 or 3 weeks, how often they've been playing and where they've had to play. And now, look, they make the schedule. I mean, that's their own deal. But when you look at it, you do get to a point where it's, guys, we'll see you in 2 days, and don't call me. So the place will be open if you want to come in and hit on your own and do all that, which most of them will do. But you need a break sometimes.
And the coaches need a break.
And we mentioned no midweek, so you don't have a midweek game. And he mentioned the final days, so a few days off. So they're probably going to do some class work, get ready for that, hopefully have some easy breezy finals, and then prepare for, as you referenced, Chuck, a hot Mississippi State team that did beat a ranked Alabama squad this weekend. So I think people with Arkansas this season, and really I think it's still, if I remember, it's either 21 of 22 or 20 of 21. This, even though it's at home, even though it's in Bob Walker Stadium, the friendly confines, as I always say in the game notes, there is no guarantee that you win this series this weekend because of the caliber opponent that you're playing. And I think people and fans sometimes just chalk it up as, well, you're backing home. They'll win. That's not the case.
I think you feel very confident when Hagen Smith is pitching. You got a great chance to win the ball game. Beyond that, I think we've lost a little bit of our swagger or our confidence. But I feel like anytime Hagen Smith's on the bump, you're probably going to win. Beyond that, I don't want to say it's a toss-up, and I think at home you've got the edge because you had to travel. You're in your routine and your environment. But I think it's important to win 2 of 3 this weekend because there is no guarantee when you go to A&M.
I think they win 2 of 3 this weekend. I mean, again, let's look at what's happened without being a prisoner of the moment too much. They've done pretty well at home. You're right, Ty. You don't take anything for granted. That's for sure. But that's one of the reasons I don't get bent out of shape about, for example, the starting pitching this past weekend. This team, again, once you get past the conference tournament, until or unless they get to Omaha, they're going to play at home. And look at what some of these guys' numbers are in their home ballpark, because ultimately that's what's going to determine, whether or not they're able to get to Omaha.
Yeah, I was encouraged by a couple things I saw this week. Peyton Stovall has just been unbelievable as of late.
Well.
I mean, he's awesome. You think about the fact that he leads the team in hits, and he missed 12 games. You think about how has like a 360-something batting average right now. You also saw, I believe we mentioned this last week, Chuck, Hudson White had great batting numbers when he was in Lubbock, and he hadn't necessarily hit the way, but, I mean, he was great this weekend, too. He was 5 for 10. Looked like more the guy that we the guy that was in Lubbock last year hitting the baseball this weekend in Lexington than maybe any other point this year.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good weekend. Stovall, though, is their best player, and he has been, in my opinion, that's just my opinion, I think he's been the best player from the minute he stepped on campus. I think he's a ball player. I think he's going to be in the big leagues. I could see him playing in the big leagues for 10 years. I'm not saying necessarily as a star. There have been some ball players up there on the infield that stand out over the years. Forsythe was a great one when I was there, and Stovall reminds me of him a lot. He's a better hitter. But Stovall is really, really good.
Here's a question I have, and this is a very hot take, and it may get pushback, a lot of pushback from you two and everyone else on the McLarty Daniel hotline. As good as he's been in the leadoff, with Arkansas struggling, not just this weekend, 6 of 33 with runners on base, is there any appetite to potentially move him off to potentially bring guys home? And I don't know if that's a stupid thought. I had someone that I was talking to about that this weekend. I mean, he's so good. You almost have like at least 1 or 2 automatic singles each and every game when he's in the leadoff spot. But a lot of times he's left stranded on base. Is that a stupid take to move him out of the one hole?
Oh, I don't think it's stupid. I mean, it's one of the things I've heard people talk about, but there's no guarantee there's going to be a guy on base.
Yeah.
If you take him out of that spot. So I'm sure they contemplate a lot of things, and I'm sure they are contemplating things in terms of what they want to do with their lineup. It would be nice if Diggs would get hot again. I thought maybe coming out of Friday night, and he is hitting the ball a little bit better. You need somebody that can drive in runs. There's no doubt about that. Hey, I don't know if you've checked the forecast this week. We're not quite into the complete and total warm weather. And that's why I want to talk to you for just a second about Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. If you're a Pascal customer, you know this. If you're not, you need to know. You don't have to pay for a spring AC tune-up. You don't have to call someone up and have them come out and make an appointment and do all this and pay them a bunch of money to tell you that, hey, you need to have this done before it gets hot. When you're part of Pascal's Plant Protection Program, you get year-round maintenance, whether it's the heat of the summer, the cold of the winter, or all points in between, or times like this when, it's 70 during the day and 40-something in the evening. I mean, all these things add up over the course of the year, and Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric will always keep you going. So don't pay for the tune-up. Call Pascal, set an appointment, become part of their plant protection program, and they'll give you peace of mind. This is an Arkansas-owned company, Arkansas-operated. Professional people, professional service, and you can schedule your appointment at gopascal.com.
So while Arkansas didn't win in Lexington, Kentucky this weekend, you did win in Louisville, Kentucky, as several Arkansans, several Arkansas connections were a part of Mystic Dan's, the 150th anniversary of the Kentucky Derby, including trainer Kenny McPhee, who was very, very happy after the win.
We didn't have the greatest trip in Arkansas.
In case you didn't know, Kenny McPeak has just won the Kentucky Derby. It's official.
That's tight. You know, we're very fortunate. We got great clients, and I want to go see the Gasaways. These people, they've got to be over the moon.
So that was Kenny talking. Guys, I don't know who the guy in the American flag suit was behind him. I'm guessing a friend of some sort. I don't even know if they ever named him, but that was the guy that was just yelling, yes, 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 in the background.
That was the guy that did bet a lot of money.
I
on
would
Mystic
guess. And if I had to guess, I don't know this for a fact, I would guess that Sam Pittman and Jamie, who were also in attendance, sitting with that group, may have won some money. Usually when you're with the family of a certain horse, you typically bet on that set horse.
I saw some video of Coach with them and looking good in his baby blue suit, but he wasn't like over the top excited. I'm wondering if he figured I didn't bet enough. I'm wondering if he didn't have the reaction of a man that had just cleaned up at the window.
See, here's the thing about this sport for me. Like, for example, when I watch a team play and a team I'm rooting for wins, I don't say to myself, damn, I wish I had some money on that. I don't ever say that. I enjoy the fact that they won. It's only after something like this you hear, boy, it wasn't any good for me. I didn't have any money on it.
But that's horse racing. Horse racing and gambling go hand in hand.
I understand all that.
Much more than any other-
But
any other
I
sport.
just don't understand why we can't just be happy for some old boys from Southeast Arkansas that went up there and won the Derby.
I'm happy for the Gasaways. I would like to be happy for myself at the same time.
Well, it's not just about you.
Well, but it is.
Let me tell you something, Chuck. As ecstatic as I was in San Francisco, California, when they beat Gonzaga a couple years ago because Arkansas beat the number 1 seed, I also had a little change on that game, so it upped the ante.
Well, that's not something you need to admit.
As I
You're
was
covering
happy,
the ball game. That's not something you need to admit to, Ty.
Well, I did. It's full disclosure. It happened. I think that's in these situations there's truth to what you just said. You should be happy for Arkansans, but I think there were a lot of happy Arkansans that were not only happy for their friends or their people that they know because they also won a buck or two on Saturday. So.
Oh, and look, Tommy's right. That's gambling and horse racing go hand in hand.
Particularly
I'm just saying, I don't think you should be less happy for them.
No.
Because you didn't have any money on it.
Well, that's
I'd like to be more happy for me and equally as happy.
I should have bet on Mystic Dan.
Yeah.
Biggest mistake of my life was not betting. It could have been $3,000
I don't know which I guess it
this
was
weekend.
Tommy said earlier. 2020 in hindsight in horse racing is absolutely true. That's
Stock
for
market
sure.
and horse racing. Hindsight is 2020. All right, it's Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. That's where you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. I was talking, Clay came by this week. I saw him, and I know the cicada hatch is coming out, and that's going to change things on the White River.
Oh,
and he was tying some cicada flies this weekend, getting ready for some great fishing. If you're going to the White River, yeah, oh man, I'm telling you, it's big time. They've got fly fishing experts there that can guide you and can show you and teach you. If you just want to get out on the river and enjoy a great time, there's no better place than Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202 or go to Gastons.com. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available.
Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Once again, Hagen Smith had a stellar performance this week in striking out 14 Wildcats in a Game 1 win.
Smith ahead still 0-2 on Daly. Here's the pitch. He struck him out looking with a breaking ball. Hagen Smith has struck out the side 3 times today. He does it again in the 6th inning and gets around a leadoff walk. 4th runner stranded by Kentucky.
And, of course, big part of why they managed to get that really dominating Game 1 win. Dave Van Horn, thoughts after the game on his star pitcher.
Great pitching performance by Hagan. A lot of contributions offensively up and down the lineup. It was just a really good team win on the road. Hagan's stuff was amazing, especially from about the 3rd inning on. He ramped it up a little bit. He was amazing.
Hagan needs 21 strikeouts to tie Nick Schmidt with 345 career strikeouts, 22 to have the all-time career strikeouts record. We were wondering about this and asking last week, could he do it in the regular season? You know, the averages were kind of right there is a good question, but now it seems very much in play with presumably two starts to go before the conference tournament, Chuck. 21 strikeouts to tie, 22 to break it. Seems like it's very much in play with 2 series left.
Well, I don't know if he gets 22 strikeouts in 2 starts. I don't know about that. It's possible, I guess. The big thing is you got to win the game. Yeah. Big things you got to win the game.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. And the thing that I continue to be impressed with Smith is his ERA. The way that he's able to just dominate, not just strike out totals, but 1, 2, 3 innings, or maybe a 2-out hit here and there, but just dominant on the mound. And, you said it earlier, Tommy, you always feel like when he pitches, you've got a really good chance to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And, as we saw over the weekend, winning on Friday night does not guarantee you a series win. But most of the time when you win on Friday night, you're going to win the series.
Well, he is, you're talking about stats, Chuck, 9-0. That ERA you mentioned, 1.36 over 66 innings. And he's only, listen to this, y'all, he's only allowed 11 runs, 10 of them earned all year. 125 batters he's fanned. That is, it's pretty incredible for
now.
Smith.
The teams are going to be better moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, he wasn't perfect on Friday night. He was really good, but you're going to play good teams and teams that can hit. And as we've discussed before, when the weather warms, the bats come alive. And I think that's one of the reasons Arkansas's ERA is very slowly climbing, not dramatically climbing, but slowly. Other team staffs' ERAs are going to dramatically go up over the next 2 or 3 weeks because the weather's warming, they're playing better teams, and teams just seem to hit this time of year.
Other news, Arkansas got another football commitment. JUCO running back Tyrell Reed, which was at Hutchinson Community College this past season. And then also the Arkansas softball team did drop their final home regular season series against Ole Miss. They are still a top 4 seed in the SEC tournament, and they're going to play either Missouri, Kentucky, or Ole Miss this Thursday in the SEC softball tournament. So that is the setup. It was they lost the first game, they won the second game pretty dramatically, and then lost a tight third game. But that is Courtney Dyefull's squad again, top 4 seed once again in the SEC tournament as they get ready for their postseason play. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
Also do need to mention here in the Hog Update, Dallas Mavericks move on this weekend. Daniel Gafford, big part of that reason.
Gafford goes inside, lowers the shoulder, throws it down. The foul.
13 points, 6 rebounds, and the Mavs will start their series against the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow night in the Western Conference semifinals. Knicks and Pacers going at each other. And I was reading up on this, Chuck. Jalen Brunson, of course, New York Knicks, the star of that team, has played like an MVP or close equivalent this season. I'd forgotten that he played for Carlisle on the Mavericks. So that is going to be an interesting dynamic starting tonight when they take on each other. Old 90s rivalry that's renewing again.
Yeah, that's going to be a great series. It is going to be a good series. I'm anxious to see Dallas and Oklahoma City, or since they started 8:30, hear how it went when I get up the next day. Yeah. But Gafford, you were talking earlier about Gafford and Jalen squaring off. I suspect the time on the floor they're on the floor together will be minimal.
Yep.
But one of the things that Oklahoma City with Holmgren inside, that's who Gafford's going to be matched up against a lot. That dunk highlight that you played a moment ago, I mean, he lowered his shoulder and cleared some space. Gafford's filled out. He's a grown man now. And I just wonder physically, from an Oklahoma City perspective, is Gafford going to be able to neutralize Holmgren? Or is Holmgren going to be able to get Gafford out on the floor? Gafford can move now. Or is that even going to be the matchup? I guess ultimately when you get down to it. But I suspect a lot of the time it will be.
Chet's like 180. Holmgren, I mean, he's a $180. Daniel, I don't have his weight.
He's a lot bigger than he was.
Yeah.
He's bigger than he was.
But, yeah, that is going to be a fun dynamic that, again, gets going tomorrow night. The other game on tonight is Minnesota against the Nuggets. Nuggets lost that game one in their home arena. We'll see if they bounce back. That's my brother's favorite team, and plenty of former Cal players featured still in these NBA playoffs at this point. I think about, as we continue to move on here on a Hot Take Monday, I do want to touch on, in this next hour, SEC football scheduling. We've talked about the remaining games for SEC baseball teams down the stretch as it gets down to the wire. I'm curious. I want to get in some comments from Hunter Yurachek, what he had to say in The Athletic, as well as Greg Byrne, the Alabama athletics director, and the Georgia one. We know that in 2025, they're going to keep the same rotation except just flip it, where it's going to be the teams that you're playing at home this year are going to be away, and then the teams you play away are going to be home. I don't know how quick they're going to turn to 9 games. I could see them in 2026 still playing an 8-game league in the Southeastern Conference.
They got to work their way out of some non-conference scheduling
that's what he
already binding, and they don't want to buy their way out of. And again, there's not going to be this huge influx of television money because you play a 9th conference game. It's still the same number of games that they have televised. So, they're waiting to see what the best play is for the conference. And I think they also want to see, Chuck, how the committee and how the postseason with this new expanded playoff, what are the differences between 8 conference games and 9 or more across these various leagues, and what kind of disadvantage are you at with the new playoff setup?
Well, I think there are a lot of things that they want to look at. All the things that you mentioned are factors. They better listen to the fans, though. And that's who they better listen to when this is all said and done, because if the Big Ten, who's their chief rival, if the Big Ten's playing 9 or 10 conference ball games and the SEC's playing 8, I don't think that's where you want to be.
We'll have more conversation coming up about basketball, kind of where Cal's at on recruiting and filling out the back half of this roster. All of our championship under construction conversations brought to you by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all of your real estate needs, go to lindberghteam.com. Here we are, a couple hours into the show, and we've spent virtually no time on Arkansas basketball to this point. We've had so much other stuff to talk about, but that's still, I think, front and center in the mind of a lot of fans out there this morning.
There's no news. I mean, you didn't have anything happen over the weekend. Nothing happened. So maybe, at least publicly, that's the thing. Like, privately, we never know what's going on behind closed doors with Cal, some other assistants, and prospective players. But you really didn't hear a peep out of anything happen. Yeah, and Alabama got a big commitment from Clifford Obaji. I think it's that. Man, I might be butchering that. Probably am. But Omori, he committed to the Nate Oates and the Alabama basketball program over the weekend, but not a lot outside of that. All right, as we get into hour 3, again, we'll talk some of that scheduling. We'll come back to Mystic Dan and the outstanding finish in the Kentucky Derby. And what is the best finish in all of sports? All that is coming up. Hour 3 next.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months months on mid-range tractors and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. West Arc Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact West Arc Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. West Arc Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call West Arc Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a chance of seeing showers and thunderstorms. They will be few and far between. Our high this afternoon, upper 70s to near 80. A chance of isolated showers, a few thunderstorms tonight, and overnight low will drop down in the low to mid 60s. And another round of showers and storms on Saturday, a high upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard. Your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits.
Live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Dan is out. Up toward the inside. It is Mystic Dan. Down toward the inside. With the lead in the final 16. Forever Young. Sierra Leone is coming. These three coming down the wire. Who's it going to be? It's a photo. Was it Mystic Dan? A photo finish to decide the 150th Kentucky Derby.
Mystic Dan is the one I'm going to roll with.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
So it's a fun outcome Friday night in Lexington, Kentucky. A fun outcome Saturday night in Louisville, Kentucky. Heck, even Kentucky fans and players like Reed Shepherd were jumping on Mystic Dan.
I just drew Mystic Dan out of the hat, so we're just going to stick with that.
So that's apparently who now the former Kentucky Wildcat and future NBA lottery pick rolled with. Hopefully you rolled with Mystic Dan. Is at the 150th anniversary of the Kentucky Derby concluded. Mystic Dan legitimately, Tommy, won by a nose on Saturday night.
A nostril.
A nostril. Even better. A nose hair, Chuck.
Yeah. Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, and also Brinkley Model Z's all there with a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on The Morning Rush is presented by Sawyer's, sunrooms, patio covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. 100% financing available. No job too small or large. Everything for the outside of the house.
See, Ty, in future years, when you're betting the Kentucky Derby, I heard you talk a little bit earlier about how you started on Mystic Dan and you switched to a different horse. Was it Honor Marie?
Honor Marie.
All right. See, there's a proper way to bet the Kentucky Derby, okay? This is how you play it. You make your pick at the start of the week, okay? By the end of the week, you talk yourself into betting on another horse too. Then Derby Day rolls around, and I probably need to put a little money on this horse. And then, well, I better box him. You know, and maybe an exacta, trifecta. This horse right here, I might put a few bucks to show on. And by the time you get to the race, you got your money on so many that hopefully one like Mystic Dan will come in and pay off all your other stupid bets.
Yeah.
Not that I know anything about that. I'm just saying that, you know, that's the way you
That
bet.
would just how others would do it, not necessarily you, Chuck, how others may have done.
That's right.
Yeah, I had a friend who had a friend I heard about that played a bunch of 50-cent supers, just, you know, picked a different combination, hoping that one would hit.
Right.
You know, so you do that. And then,
people do that.
Yeah. You know, just and I took the 8 horse. What was that? Little to the Touch or whatever the name was. That one in
the one you said on Friday.
Forever Young.
No, I went with 8, but anyway, that didn't pan out for me at all. So
okay, well, sometimes it happens.
I didn't cash a ticket.
Not a single one.
Not one on the Derby.
Well, so you have that photo.
You didn't place enough bets.
Well, I didn't have any of them involving the 3. It was the problem.
Well, you had that finish in Lexington. You also had a finish at the Kansas Speedway that was pretty crazy too.
And here comes Truex. They're going to close right to the 2 leaders. Coming to the line. Clutch together. I believe Busher.
It's so close. This is going to be a huge win for Busher. They're excited. I think it's him, Kevin. That was incredible.
Oh, Busher is ahead. Larson is coming. It's like the Kentucky Derby.
Oh,
It's Larson.
Holy cow.
There's no head bobs in NASCAR.
Yeah, 0.001 seconds of difference at the Kansas City Speedway this weekend. So that, as I'm watching the highlight and the conclusion of that, what happened in Kansas, and then also what happened in Louisville, I think it begs the question, what is the best ending in sports to watch? Is it a photo finish at either a NASCAR or a horse racing event? Is it a game winner in basketball? Is it a walk-off home run? Is it a Hail Mary in football? Is it sudden death hockey? Is it penalty kicks?
It's the one where my team wins or my ticket wins. That's
okay. The betting one. To me, it's still a game winner in basketball. When the horn sounds and you let it go, everything, you've got a compact arena, 19 to 20,000 typically, depending on what college or a professional venue you're at. I still think, as cool as Saturday was, the game winner in basketball has every little thing that you need for the conclusion of a sporting event.
See, I think
that's the one I would go with.
I think an uncertain field goal in football is about as exciting as it gets. When it's a win or lose, on the leg of the kicker, on the snap of the long snapper in the hold, and that's what ends the game, win or lose. I think that's about as exciting as it gets in sports.
That's what Stoner in Nashville says. A 50-yard field goal with 3 seconds left. He texted on the McLarty Daniel hotline. That's his personal favorite, Chuck.
Unless there's a kick six involved.
Yes, and that's what B in Clarksville cites, the kick six, because he hated Alabama at the time. Chuck, do you have a favorite of the 4 or 5 I just mentioned?
I don't know. I mean, they're all great. It just kind of depends on the moment, I think. Maybe the latest is the greatest.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it works in sports sometimes.
But what do we all grow up saying? 3 on,
2, 1.
3 on, 2 out, bottom of the ninth, game 7 of the World Series. I mean, that's the rarest of rare. But
now I'll say this for Ty. I probably had more moments in the driveway with a basketball in my hand.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Oh, he was fouled.
What did he miss?
He was fouled.
You throw a brick up, and it's like, contact.
That's right.
Contact, yeah. Todd from Fort Smith agrees with you, Tommy. He says a 2-strike ninth inning home run in his favorite. Paul is kind of with us, Chuck. He always goes back to the put-back dunk from Michael Qualls over Kentucky in 2014. I mean, there's so many different ways to experience end of game moments, and there's so many great ones. Arkansas baseball's had them, football teams had them, basketball's had them. But I still remember sitting up in the upper deck as a freshman in college, watching Michael throw it down over, I guess it was James Young at the time, and just the explosion inside that arena. As it looked like there's 150,000 people in Louisville on Saturday, and just to watch like the amplitude and everything rise up at the tail end, where, and I'm forgetting the second or third horse that chased down Mystic Dan, but the conclusion of that, it looked like people were going to come out of the grandstands because of how nuts it went.
Yeah, but imagine if there weren't 20 different teams you could pick. That's the difference in horse racing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had a little bit of money on 20 different options there. In a traditional game, you got 1 or 2 choices.
Yeah, it's just one.
HD TV is so great.
Oh,
I mean, when they came around that final turn, and you could see all the people in the grandstand and all the contrast and the colors and everything, it's like, how do we ever watch sports before HD TV?
Love the drone shot where they go
me
above
too. It
the
was
horses.
awesome.
You can kind of,
it's great.
That to me is my favorite angle on watching it, because you can really kind of see the jockey strategy. And I thought there was a shot coming back up the home stretch as the horses were coming down the stretch, and some bumping there. And I was wondering if it was going to be an inquiry or a protest as to some bumping down the stretch, but there wasn't an inquiry.
A lot of horses on that track, man,
Ooh,
for that
it's
race.
hard.
It's not like, you got a 9-horse field at Oaklawn with a couple of scratches. I mean, you got 21 horses out there just going at it.
And you think about, you mentioned the drone footage. You also had the close-up, so they would replay like the video that a lot of us have seen, if you haven't seen, of Sam and Jamie Pittman, the Hambies, the sorry, why am I blanking? The Gasaways, and like just all their basically
Kenny
squad.
McPeak.
Yeah, Kenny McPeak, the whole squad of just like the emotional levels start to tick up a little, and then they realize we might win this thing, and then it gets to that point, and you just see the sometimes you see the emotions drain on someone's face. It's the opposite, with the emotion levels rise on that face, and I think that's how a lot of Arkansas
and then you
felt.
get to the wire and you don't know. I mean, particularly if you're there, because you don't have an angle. How many people have the finish line seat? A fraction of a fraction.
It literally was a nostril.
Yeah,
I mean, literally.
No joke,
I mean,
yeah.
So you had 3 different encampments, if you will, that all thought they had won the race for at least a few heartbeats
for a brief moment. Yeah. It was it was quite a finish in Louisville, and there was the backstory we had talked about. Again, Daniel Hampy, nicknamed Banks, his father Dan, his first business was selling Mystic tape, and his dad's Dan. The name Mystic Dan. That's kind of the backstory on the winner. But a lot of Arkansas people, I bet. Sam and Jamie Pittman and everyone else seemed to have a lot of fun that night. Sherilyn Gasaway is going to join us tomorrow at 7 a.m. to get that perspective on being there in person, too. I had some friends that have been. I had some friends that were in attendance this weekend. That is still a bucket list event. And I kind of wanted to go prior to this weekend, and now I really want to go.
Really?
After this weekend.
When I look at 150,000 people and knowing that, hey, I'm not going to be able to get one of these owner's boxes or one of these Cat Daddy seats, do you really want to go and sit on the infield? And you're not there to watch the race. You're there for the experience. You're not because you're not going to get to see the race.
Well, Ty, you've got an entire year to figure it out. And I don't mean just figure out how to get on the grounds. Anybody can figure that out. You got enough money. You can get on the grounds.
It's $130 for an infield seat.
But figure out how you're going to introduce yourself to Churchill Downs. I mean, are you going to walk in as a player, or are you going to walk in as, just some guy? You got a year to plan, man.
He seems like an infield guy to me.
It's a lot of savings for the seersucker suit, but I will do my best to save up that money between now and then.
You got 12 months to weasel your way into something good.
Okay. Well, I think I can do that in the next 12 months.
You can tell that Twin Spire and the money that they're raking in off the online gaming now, that they've invested a lot back in that facility. It's still doing a lot of construction. That paddock area, you can see they put a lot of money into that for basically one day or one weekend a year.
And it's 8:12 this morning on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. I was waiting for this text, and it's finally come. Does Arkansas winning the Kentucky Derby help Sam Pittman win NIL? It only took 2 hours and 12 minutes for someone to fire off, and it comes from JT in Hot Springs. Somehow, some way, the event this weekend is going to be shifted into, well, Sam wasn't recruiting this weekend, so we lost another player to an SEC school at some point. I think
when did that happen this weekend?
Yeah, that's a great question, but that is I think there's some sarcasm in that text
from JT. He should have been watching film. He should have been talking to boosters.
In JT and Hot Springs, but I would guess that Sam Pittman is probably not the only one that was only football coach in the Southeastern Conference that was there. Plenty of celebrities there that weekend. There this weekend.
But watching Coach and Jamie, it looked like when the horse went, they almost didn't know what to do.
They were stunned.
They didn't know what to do.
Sam's face was just like, and I was angry. I was throwing throw pillows everywhere because, again, lost out on $3,000. I mean, there were the throw.
Nothing says I'm angry like throwing a throw pillow across the room.
It was my friend's house, and I have a lot of respect for him and his fiance, so I wasn't going to actually break stuff, but I just grabbed the nearest thing because I lost out on $3,000 if I would have bet the $150 on the 200 or excuse me 20 to 1.
Not how it works.
I lost out on $3,000.
18 to 1, number one.
I think it was. I would have gotten it 20 to 1.
No, because the odds are what it is that when the race goes off.
All right, something else I learned on that.
Yeah, just because you bought in that morning at like 28 to 1 doesn't mean that's what you get.
It doesn't shift.
It's pari-mutuel
it's
wagering.
where they are when it goes on, or when the race begins.
Now I know that. Did not know. I thought that was like any football
So
or basketball.
when you say I cost myself $3,000 and you don't even know about the odds, it kind of rings hollow. Nobody feels sorry for you.
Let's see, 18 times 150. So I lost on 2,700.
No, it'd be times 75 because it's on a $2 bet. So again, got to know how to calculate the wager.
So
and were you going to bet across the board? Were you just going to bet to win?
Straight up. So it's 2,750 divided by 2, 13. So I lost on a little less than $1,500 is what you're saying. Still a lot of money. It's a lot
It's
of
a
money.
lot of cash. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. There's a lot of cash you could have won.
Yeah, unfortunately. Speaking of a lot of cash, Kirby Smart got paid an excessive amount of money. $13 million is his new contract. He's got bonuses that will exceed, escalator-wise, over $1.5 million. And I think about with SEC coaches, and I know Sam Pittman, again, he's almost making 3 times as much as what Sam Pittman is making. One of the things I thought about as I saw this past week is it going to crash like the housing market? Are we going to have college football, specifically salaries, crash, or are they just going to keep going up? My thought was, like, you've already seen a conference, quote unquote, fail in the Pac-12. The ACC is headed in that direction. I think the only conferences that are set up for success are the SEC, the Big Ten, and I think your MAC has actually done a pretty decent job with kind of some early moves on the Big 12, but does a conference crashing / a network, a television network crashing, is that the only way these college football salaries hit the hole? Are they just going to keep going up?
The SEC and the Big 10 maybe, as the phrase goes, too big to fail at this point. But these coaching salaries, they're trees that grow to the sky. If they'd have let me have my way for a day, we'd just have, was there going to be 16 members of the SEC? All right, every school's going to put $7 million in the head coaching pot. And the SEC championship coach is going to get, 20% of that. And then the runner-up's going to get – and just – you want to see a change in the sport? Put all the money in one pot. Let the coach that wins the most get the biggest slice of that pie, and then run it all the way down to
That's not going to change anything.
No,
that's not going to change anything.
I think it would make the games, and I think it'd make it more entertaining to watch. Now, again, that's not going to happen, but we talk about these salaries and where they're going to go. That'd be one way for a league to put a cap on it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, that is, again, that's
not going to happen, but it's a barstool conversation.
And Kirby has a chance, as Saban did for the majority of his career, to dominate. I mean, college football's his for the next 10 years. Harbaugh went to the NFL. There's no Nick Saban anymore. This guy has a chance to not only get a raise from $13 million that he's about to make, but dominate. And I think the addition of 8 more playoff spots is going to help Georgia more than it's going to hurt, because I think we all agree that Georgia is one of the best 4 or 5 teams in college football last year. They were left out. Now they're not going to be left out of future playoffs moving forward, because they'll just be that, even if they lose the SEC championship or lose a game here and there, they're just going to be an at-large because of the quality of the SEC.
Well, you're talking about 2 different subjects here. Coaches' salaries going down and whether Georgia's going to dominate. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Well, we're talking about the potential for Kirby Smart to make even more money than he's making now, and the idea that, again, that it's too destined, because if he keeps winning, his salary is going to keep going up, right? And the only way I see not just him, but college sports potentially losing out on money is, like I said, a conference failing like the ACC, which I think it's on its way, and then also a potential network collapse, which I don't think, just because we think that Fox Sports or ESPN or NBC or whoever
what would make you think one of the networks would collapse? Maybe they would exit college sports.
Well, I think that
why would they collapse?
The decline in cable subscriptions and various other things.
But the networks aren't in, other than ESPN, they're not in the cable business.
Correct. So like ESPN.
There's not going to be a collapse in coaches' salaries. The business, the industry, college sports is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Is that going to change? Is that what you're asking?
Yes. We'll see the
answer is no. No, the answer is no. It's not going to change. Salaries are going to continue to go up. There's been no point in the history of college sports where salaries have gone down, and it's never going to happen. because our appetite for it's never going to change.
Yeah, we're even seeing with more what I find interesting is as much access as kids have nowadays with various other things. Like you talked about, Dill didn't really get into football, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? And now
14.
It's changed.
I mean, that's about the time you do.
It's changed since. And I was a football fan when I was 5 years old. I mean,
Well,
it's difference. There's difference in kids.
Built different.
It's different in kids. I mean, would you not say that? Would you not say kids nowadays are different than you were and Chuck were and others were? That sports.
You don't love your team more at 6 or 7 now than I did at 6 or 7 because you've got a cell phone or you're more plugged in. No, I don't. I don't think it changes at all.
I would just say kids' appetites are different now than they've ever been because of the difference of accessibility that you have to different things and the various other stuff. And why I bring that up is because despite that, we saw that college football ratings, not specific games intensely, but the overall college football ratings was as high as it's ever been. That's what I find surprising. And to your point, you talking about, again, college football salaries aren't going to change with it's as big as it's going to be. I'm just wondering if we're going to see these dramatic increases like we've seen. Because, again, Nick made, $4 million when he jumped in?
We're going to continue to see dramatic increases. I think this is a no-brainer. I mean, I think you know the answer. I think you know the answer to the questions. There's been no point where salaries have gone down. It's not going to happen, and they're going to continue to escalate. Look, when I started doing play-by-play for Arkansas football, Houston Nutt made $1 million a year. Sam Pittman makes $5 million now. I mean, it's not going down, Ty. No. There's no way it's going to go down, and it's just not going to change. So I hear you, but I don't. And I think if you're Georgia, you got to ask yourself: is Kirby Smart worth $13 million a year to our university?
Probably more.
I think the answer is yes. Hey, your home's your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, maybe a new driveway, windows, you need to call a company you can trust, and that's where Sawyer's in Fort Smith comes into play. Buzz Sawyer, our friend, they've been part of your community now for over 30 years. They're insured, they're licensed. They've got 100% financing on all of their products, so they will take the worry out of your next project. You can call them, and you can let them handle it from permitting to completion. Now, they've got a showroom on Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or you can check out the work they've done, and there's a lot of good work at Sawyers-sunrooms.com.
So Arkansas ends up losing in Lexington this weekend. But what else happened in the Southeastern Conference? What did Dave had to say about his team's performance? That's coming up here. Stay with us. Hot Take Monday edition of the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
This is the Morning Rush.
The Razorbacks have won it.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It's 2024. Let's go see what's new at the Golf Nut. Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke Woods and Irons. The world's first AI smart face designed using real player data. Cobra Dark Speed Woods and Irons. The fastest driver Cobra has ever built. Start the new year off with a lesson and feel more confident on the course. Contact Matt Brooks at 646-4430. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
The name Newmeyer means something in the River Valley. Rib Room and Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. But have you been to their new establishment, the Whippoorwill? Unbelievable Southern food right across the street from Papa's. Southern cooking at its finest, like burgers, chicken fried steak, Mimi's meatloaf, fried green tomatoes, and more. Go to whippoorwillrestaurant.com to check out their menu and daily specials. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Churchill's first post time tomorrow, Chuck's at 9:30. I mean, you could be up thousands by then. You know,
well, they've been racing all week. Not that I would know, but they've been racing all week.
Not that you would know.
Guys, my uncle texted us in during the last segment. He said he would buy the seersucker suit as long as I wore it. So I've got that taken care of now. I've just, as you said,
running
Chuck,
out
earlier,
of excuses.
Yeah, I don't have any. Got to buy.
Gotta get you that hat. You know, you gotta have your hat working.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you gotta wear a hat.
Okay. Seersucker suit and hat and a non-infield
White
ticket.
shirt.
White shirt.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably a pink tie would be my guess.
Okay. I've got one of those, so we should be ready to roll.
White shoes, white belt. You'll be fine.
All right. Got to grab the white shoes and the white belt. We'll get to that.
You guys like to paint? Now, I'm not talking like, artistic painting. I'm like talking about painting. Huh?
Paint by number.
Paint by number. You like that?
Yeah.
You know, like when you got to paint something around the house, or you got to paint anything metal in particular, it can become a pretty tiresome task. So whether it's small or large, you can do powder coating with River City Coatings. They can handle all of your powder coating needs. Powder coating isn't just a layer of paint. It becomes part of the metal. I've done some powder coating on some balusters in my outdoor railing on my decking, and I don't ever have to worry about painting it again. It becomes part of the metal and can withstand chemicals, abrasions, and more. So if you're needing metals that will last forever and never have to worry about painting them again, get them powder coated with River City Coatings. They've got over 25 years of experience. They offer a variety of colors, so it's not just, one, set black color that you can choose from. There's a variety of colors that sets them apart on how they can get your project done. They can get it done fast, and they can give you everything you're looking for and eliminate the maintenance. So River City Coatings, check them out. They're in Van Buren. Patio furniture, rims, brake calipers, farm equipment. The list goes on and on of things you might not even think about powder coating that you can do right now with River City Coatings. No project too big or small. They might you think it might be expensive? Well, it's not. You can find it to be very, very doable with River City Coatings. So check them out in Van Buren. That's River City Coatings for all of your powder coating needs.
Kendall Diggs hit a little better this weekend, going 4 of 12, including a couple base knocks in game number 1.
1-1. Punched into center field. It's in, a base hit for Diggs. Brings Sprague-Lott home. McLaughlin rounds third. He scores easily. Kendall Diggs has driven in 4 runs today.
I know he's been struggling in recent weeks, but it was encouraging to see him get back on track a little bit on Friday, and he spoke to that after the game.
Last couple weeks have been, tough for me, at the plate as far as just producing and knowing what I'm, capable of. But it was really good to come through for the guys, and just going to keep it going.
I know that was the best game he had of the weekend, guys, but you think about just needing him as a bat in this Arkansas lineup where he struggled. Again, the confidence he needs to get back coming off of injury. I know that Will McIntyre had a good 2 outings this week, not so good on Sunday, but for those 2 guys who we mentioned last week, especially Diggs at the plate, you're going to need those guys, and not just Hoover, but in postseason when you're back at Bob Walker Stadium.
Those guys are your leaders. Diggs is one of the leaders of your team. McIntyre is one of the leaders of your team. There's an ebb and a flow to the season, and I know people get tired of hearing me say that, but it's just the truth. And pitchers go through slumps just like hitters. And we want to kind of sometimes as fans jump from the end of April to the start of June. We forget there's an entire month of May, and even for the players sometimes you'd like to just move right on ahead to the postseason. And guys don't need to be at their hottest right now. They need to be at their hottest in a month. So I'm not real worried. It would have been nice to have won yesterday, though, no doubt about that.
Yeah, and Dave Van Horn talked about that. So you bang up Kentucky pretty good on Friday. They bang you up pretty good on Saturday. And I know the final score on Sunday was 7-4, but you got 2 guys on, 1 out with Diggs and Holt that ended up concluding, and Dave said just didn't take advantage of their chances.
We had a couple of chances to score a couple of runs. We didn't get the big hit. Most of the time it was with 2 outs. A couple of times it wasn't, but we didn't get it. Bottom line, we didn't get the hit.
Biggest stat from the weekend for me, 6 of 33 in games 2 and 3 with runners on, 2 of 15 when those runners were in scoring position. So, guys, again, it's not like they didn't get hits this weekend, but that specific instance and other instances in games 2 and 3 just couldn't bring the guys home for whatever reason.
What was the number? What were the numbers with runners in scoring position?
2 of 15 in games 2 of 3, and then 6 of 33 with runners on in games 2 and 3.
Well, that's those are not winning numbers.
And when you look at the numbers for the weekend, and they don't add it up this way, but it was 21-17 for the series in runs. So it's it feels like you got blown out because the last 2 games went the way they did, but the reality is when you look at it in total, it was a lot closer of a series from that perspective than I think people consider.
Well, I just think they need to have 2 or 3 days where they rest their bodies. You're tired, and I don't mean you're just physically tired. You're mentally tired. The grind, everything that goes with having played, I guess, roughly 50 games now, knowing there's another 20 left. So, take 2 or 3 days, get your body right, get your mind right again, and I bet they play better this weekend.
Yeah, and back at home, and you'll have a road series to A&M, and then they'll head to the conference tournament. I presume straight from. I assume straight from College Station, but that may not. That's usually how they do it, but I may not be right on that. And then they'll play at home till Omaha after they get back from Birmingham. You made that point earlier, Chuck. It's Hot Take Monday. It's brought to you by Wheels RV, C. Lee, J. Chris, and their crew. Lifetime warranties on every new RV they sell. But beyond great products and a great price, it's the people that make the difference at Wheels RV. Find out why they've been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72. Off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
All right, so when we come back, we're going to wrap it up with the SEC update. Arkansas, again, not the only team in action this weekend. Tennessee had a good weekend, as did LSU, who defeated Texas A&M. Don't know how many people expected that. Also, there was a funny Nick Saban story that he told. He's on his promotions tour now. He's getting paid probably bucos of money to go on these different trips. He talked about a conversation he had with the gas station employee that was pretty funny. We'll close out a Hot Take Monday edition next on ESPN Arkansas and hit that line.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Tommy Craft for the Fitzman. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey guys. Don't be that dad without life insurance. When thanks to Ethos, you can be that great dad with life insurance to help keep his family living exactly like they do now, secure and protected in the event of the unexpected. With a fast and easy online experience, some policies as low as $1 a day and up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam, just a few health questions. Ethos makes getting life insurance protection hassle-free. E for easy, E for Ethos at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
This is the Morning Rush.
Attention homeowners, storm season is here, and it's time to take action to protect your property. At H&H Tree Service, we've got you covered. Licensed and insured, our expert team specializes in removing dangerous trees and limbs, keeping you and your loved ones safe. Plus, count on us for thorough storm cleanup services. Our service area includes the entire River Valley and parts of Oklahoma. Don't wait until it's too late. Call H&H Tree Service at 479-227-9480. H&H Tree Service, your safety is our priority.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge Side-by-Side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today. and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick 'em, you win 'em.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
I'm Jim Cash III, owner of the Diamond Center. I invite you to come visit us for all your jewelry needs, including celebrations, purchases, repurposing, or jewelry repairs. The Diamond Center offers the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, along with complete custom design for all those special occasions. My family's legacy in jewelry goes back 4 generations. We strive for excellent customer service, integrity in our pricing, and jewelry of the very best quality and craftsmanship. This is all backed by our exclusive free lifetime warranty. Come see us at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
What happened in the conference this weekend in baseball? A&M went down to Baton Rouge, lost 2 of 3, so Arkansas still holds a 1-game edge over the, or I guess there's a little difference in games played, so they're still up on Texas A&M. Mississippi State, who you play this weekend, beat Alabama. They played some good baseball lately, so they're coming into Fayetteville 14-10 in the league. Kentucky, of course, beat you. Right behind them is Tennessee, who beat Florida. Also, Georgia beat Vanderbilt pretty good. Some of the things that happened in the league this weekend. Again, you've got 2 ranked opponents as you close out, a hot Mississippi State team and A&M, who you'll be battling for in the SEC West. Quality competition before you go to Hoover sets you up because you're going to be playing some good competition starting in Fayetteville the first week of June.
Yeah, and, we were talking about the grind, and Chuck was mentioning the mental exhaustion that can come at this point in the year. That's not just true for Arkansas. Mississippi State has it. I think Texas A&M, probably had a little bit of that this weekend, but knew LSU was going to be a tough place. So these issues that I think he's accurate on aren't just issues that only affect Arkansas. So you need to take advantage of that. Arkansas is the team that does get to rest a bit more, does have to travel less this weekend, and doesn't have to deal with, just the worries and concerns of going on the road. Hopefully the weather's good for this weekend. It's Mother's Day weekend. You are going to play on Mother's Day Sunday, and hopefully it's a nice send-off to the regular season, but it sure is nice knowing, hey, these aren't going to be the last games at Baum Walker. We've been in a position where you didn't know on the last weekend of your home schedule.
That's a good point.
This time you know that, hey, this won't be the last time we're here.
Other SEC news, Nate Oates and Alabama added Clifford Omarty to their roster, 6'11", 240 center, all Big Ten players, averaged 13, 10, and 2, one of the big commitments from over the weekend. Speaking of Alabama, Nick Saban is on, I think, his publicity tour. I saw this weekend. He had a funny story back in the day when they lost to Louisiana Monroe back in 2007, his first year in Tuscaloosa. Here's Coach on a conversation he had with a gas station guy.
So then, after all that humiliation, I get in my car to drive home, and I don't have any gas in the car. So now I got to stop at a self-serve, put some gas in the car, and I used to wear my LSU national championship ring. So I go to pay the guy, and the guy says, "Wow, what's that ring?" And I said, "That's a national championship ring. We're going to do the same thing here at Alabama." And the guy looks at me and says, "We'll never do it as long as that Nick Saban is the coach." Well,
I can only imagine the stories that he has accumulated over the years as not just the Alabama head coach, LSU, Miami, various Michigan State, Browns, various stops that he's had along the way. But I did find that one.
Do you think
funny.
that actually happened? Like this, the way he tells it?
Don't know, but it makes for a great story, doesn't it?
It sounds like way too good to be true, but I wouldn't be surprised. Alabama fans are crazy.
I wonder if Sam Pittman has ever walked in anywhere in Fayetteville or in Arkansas, and you just had someone that was mad or bashing Arkansas football or said something that has happened. I mean, if it's hacking Nick Saban, I think it'd happen anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Saban 07 is a lot different than Nick Saban 2024 in Tuscaloosa, what he's revered as nowadays. But I thought it was funny. That's a fair question to ask, Big C, because I do think that coaches like to.
It's crazy he wasn't noticed as the coach, but it was like his first or second year, and he hadn't proven anything.
Year one.
Yeah.
The last thing you expect is a celebrity of that nature be standing in your business anyway. So.
Yeah, I don't think it caught the guy off guard a little bit. Other news in Fayetteville this weekend. Unfortunately, Arkansas softball fell to Ole Miss. They are still a top 4 seed though for this upcoming SEC tournament.
I think it's Thursday, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. And they will take on either Missouri, Kentucky, or Ole Miss. They are the second game that day. So according to Eiffel and Company, trying to have some success this week so they can host again once both apart.
I know they had some weather as well this weekend.
They did not play on Sunday. That was the expected what was going to be senior day, but they had to move that game up and had a doubleheader on Friday. All right, last thing here in your Hog update, and this one's funny, a funny thing to end on during your SEC update. Jamonta Waller, who is a 4-star signee for Auburn, was among 21 students arrested after allegedly floating in their high school gym and stealing a school bus for their senior prank. They did
what to the high school gym?
They flooded their high school gym, and they also stole a school bus for their senior prank. We rolled and TP'd a bunch of juniors' houses. That was our senior prank. I don't think we did anything on the campus grounds, but I'm sure some of you can harken back and remember what you may or may not have done for your senior prank.
Something that would cost the school tons of money to fix.
That'd be hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, that's not.
Is
That
it
goes
to
beyond
redo
a
gym
prank.
to redo a gym floor? It's that much money.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of money.
Did y'all have one back in the day?
I don't remember. It's been. I mean, we're talking literally 30 years ago. 30 years ago this month when I graduated high school. I remember we had a senior skip day, but I don't think that's a prank.
No, that's just that's custom to every year. But I did see a bunch of comments of what people did. I found that when they posted that story, I think it was on AL.com, people were replying, "Oh, that reminds me of what we did." And some, as you said, cost the school money. I don't know if it was hundreds of thousands of dollars like this incident, but there were some pranks that you knew cost certain public schools money and private schools money. So just don't go too far on these, because I guess those are just around the corner with high schools graduating soon.
All right, that's your SEC update. It's brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. They're celebrating their 46th anniversary. Incredible deals on in-ground pools, savings up to $12,000 off, and there's still time to get started this spring and be swimming this summer. See Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith and get the design of your backyard going. Above ground pools up to $1,200 off. Semi-in-ground pools. They've got savings up to $5,000 off and unbelievable prices right now on Burton's Spas as well, starting at $39.99. It's the 46th anniversary sale. Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith and online at burtonpools.com.
Mystic Dan is down. Come through on the inside. It is Mystic Dan down toward the inside with the lead in the final 16. Forever Young. Sierra Leone is coming. These three coming down to the wire. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's a photo of the Derby. Oh, it's a photo. Was it Mystic Dan or was it Sierra Leone? Forever Young was between them. Catching freedom. Finish fourth. A photo finish to decide the 150th Kentucky Derby.
We found after the fact that it was indeed Mystic Dan, who has a bunch of Arkansas connections, the Gassaway family, the Hamby family, the McPeak family. So congratulations to all of them and those that bet money. I found out my uncle's texting me listening this morning, Tommy. Apparently my cousin won $400 betting on Mystic Dan. So he went with his gut and followed through. I did not go with my gut, and it cost me.
What did it pay, $39 or something?
I think that's what JT and Hot Springs
times 75.
Yeah.
I don't really believe you to bet 150 anyway, but
I may or may not have bet 10 and lost 10 on Saturday on Honor Marine. I may or may not. Don't know.
But you would have more than 10 times. You'd have 15 times that bet if it had been Mystic Dan, right?
Yeah. I just went against my gut, which was stupid. So
why didn't you say, I had a feeling about that. I'm still going to put $5 on this horse anyway. Why didn't you do that?
That's a question we'll probably never know the answer.
That's the thing. You can bet on more than one horse. They do allow that.
We'll never know the answer to that question. At least I will never know the answer.
Or maybe the answer is he's making all of this up.
I legitimately did not make. I lost money this weekend on Honor Marie. I'm disappointed that.
Guess what? Everyone else that bet Honor Marie lost money on that too.
You can't bet on every horse, surely.
No.
Okay.
No, you can.
Well, I'm saying I'm not going to.
It's not going to work out for you, but you can.
It's not going to pan out. But yeah, really cool ending. Again, Sherilyn Gasaway is going to join us at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Who's in attendance? We'll get her thoughts and first-person perspective on what that would happen. We were talking about Sam Pittman. He just had a look of, it was just stunned.
Like he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and I guess in that.
Well, I mean, and it's you're happy, but it's not your victory. It's not like it was his horse.
Yeah.
He was there. In support of his friends. So I mean, you're happy for your friends, but it's not like, you don't have the emotional tie. Your emotions are not going to be equal to those that have put, a lot of money and a lot of time into Mystic Dan.
I would probably have that same look of like disbelief and being stunned like he did.
And the photo finish, you don't get too carried away in celebrating, and then you don't know
you lose.
You don't know. You could get photoed out. You don't know.
That's a great point. Yeah, I think that you saw the reactions. Like it looked like they won, and then ended up Mystic Dan. What did Chuck say earlier? Win by a nostril, which basically what happened when you look at the replay. And then you had the NASCAR.
All about the head bob.
Mm-hmm. You had the NASCAR ending in the Kansas Speedway that was decided by 0.001 seconds. So two great endings to this weekend. All right, later on tonight, you will have some NBA action featuring the Indiana Pacers against the New York Knicks. Gets going at 6:30 on TNT, and the Minnesota Timberwolves trying to take a 2-0 series lead over the Denver Nuggets later on tonight at 9 o'clock. Again, late starts. I'll watch the Pacers, Knicks. I don't think I'll make it stay up for the Timberwolves and the Nuggets later on tonight, guys.
Nuggets series is one of the best I've ever seen in a while, at least.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping it pans out. You want some intense playoffs, and then Daniel Gafford, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Joe in action tomorrow night for the Oklahoma City Thunder at 8:30 on TNT. He's got to wait a day for that.
Did we get some news today about the basketball team? All of our coverage of the championship under construction is brought to you by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group in Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. Go to lindberghteam.com. Is there more as we begin the week with Coach Cal and the next player on the roster?
I don't think you'll get it today, but yeah, probably the week. I'd be surprised. Really didn't. There wasn't a lot of basketball news from over the weekend.
No?
College. You had the Miami center/forward commit to Baylor, which I think a lot of college basketball pundits were surprised that ended up happening. And then the Clifford kid that I mentioned that commits to Alabama, which I think is a big get for Nate Oates, but not a lot that happened in Lexington or Fayetteville, which a lot of the college basketball world's kind of watching what Pope and Cal are doing right now.
Yeah, so I think there'll be something happen this week just to kind of keep that news cycle going. I don't think that's the reason why. I just think it will happen. The cycle will keep rolling down the track.
You still got 7 spots remaining for scholarship players, and those have to be filled at some point. The transfer portal has officially closed for underclassmen. Upperclassmen who have graduated can still enter, and you can exit at any time. But as we get near the end of this semester, people, of course, have to get ready for summer enter session and the upcoming fall semester, too.
A lot of good calls and texts this morning on the McLarty Daniel hotline. They have 6 locations in Springdale and in Bentonville. A good deal is never too far away. They're always online at McLartyDaniel.com. You can text or call. Halftime coming up at 11. We'll get your text at any time, 877-460-1019. 377-6963.
Phil will give some good insight on what happened in Lexington this weekend with the baseball team, as well as the other events that we got a chance to take in this weekend. So for Chuck Barrett, for Big C, for Tommy Kraft, I'm Ty Richardson. Enjoy the rest of your Hot Take Monday. We're back in these chairs tomorrow at 6 a.m. Talk to you then.
It's a good day to be in Arkansas.